fuck? Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I've slept so much in the last 48 hours. I have no idea what fucking day it is. And I'm too lazy to look because, at least professional monkey on the internet and all that. Whatever fucking day it is, I hope you're having a good one. I really do. You guys ready for Halloween? That's coming up here quick, man. It's the 28th. Well, it's technically the 29th now. Yeah, we only got a couple more days. Speaking of that, if you're into video games, make sure you check out the Steam sale. Those shitheads made their sale really, really short this year. So check out Steam. They have their Halloween sale going now through November 1st. Man, they made it short this year. It's funny. How you doing, Random? For those of you who asked if I fell asleep, no, I just I set up the stream. Usually I try to give myself about 10 minutes, which usually turns into 15. But I ended up having to do a little bit more. I had to go find something to eat. I haven't had an appetite for a couple of days, and I've forced myself to eat a couple of sandwiches. I'm starting to get my where I can feel I need to eat, and it's like I should probably eat. And so I went and found myself something to eat. I ate string cheese, and I have to talk about this because it bothers me when people eat string cheese, especially the stick ones that you can get, when they just bite it. You know that feeling? People who there are people who are very passionate about Kit Kat bars, and yeah, we're talking about candy bars and string cheese right now. You'll be fine, but there's people very passionate that if you're going to eat a Kit Kat bar, you should break it apart and eat each one of the bars individually. I am more of a bite across it thing, but just bite across the top, which drives a lot of people insane. And I understand that, but it's a Kit Kat bar. Get over it. But then I think about string cheese, and string cheese is meant to be peeled, yo. There's a very specific, what's the word I'm looking for here? Texture that you get when you peel it. And if you don't peel it, you don't get that texture. You're missing out. Don't just bite your string cheese. That's what I'm saying, because that's wrong. And yes, there's people calling me a monster in chats. I know, man. It drives people nuts that I eat Kit Kat bars that way. And I never thought it was weird. I mean, sometimes I'll break it off and eat one, but I usually start in the top corner of wherever and end up biting across two of them. And yeah, I'm sorry. Do you not have the Kit Kat slogan in the U.S. have a break? No, they break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. But if I'm not breaking you off a piece, why the hell am I going to break it apart? I'm just going to eat it. Just going to eat it. Oh, fumiga. Monkey should have had a slice of caramel peach pie. I could go for some caramel apple pie right now. I love apple pie. And I had a caramel apple pie once, which probably shouldn't have eaten because, diabetic and all. But I love me some apple pie, and that was a very good take on it. String cheese is mozzarella like they put on pizza. Kind of, yeah, it is. It's the same. It is mozzarella, but when you eat it, you're supposed to peel it apart, and it's better that way. Trust me, if you don't do it, you're doing it wrong. And you'll even notice on there that it says string cheese. It's not cylinder cheese. Weirdos. Let's see. I'm sure there's things I have to talk about other than this one story. Let's go through some of the humpetry from last night, because there was some, and there was some stupid shit going on in the world. You know what? I want to start with this, actually. Matt Walsh, who sometimes pisses me off and sometimes is fine. It sounded like you said carnal apple pie? No, I've never tried that. Caramel. How about that? How about I say it that way? Monkey, you're on early today. I jump all over, Jake. That's the beauty of Monkey in the Morning. There is no set time for it. I can do it when I can do it. And that is a very necessary thing with me. But anyway, so Matt Walsh tweeted out, tomorrow's my 8th wedding anniversary. Question for my fellow old married couples. I guess I can get 8 years. That is a decent amount of time, but when I read that, I just want to pat him on his head. Anyway, question for my fellow old married couples. What common and cliched piece of marriage advice have you found to be most incorrect in your experience? For you oldies in there, I know there's a few who've been married a while. Is there any wedding advice or marriage advice that you got or that you hear often that you're like, nope, that's just nonsense? That's just nonsense. I saw Petite Nicoco. She put one in there, and it's that you have to have time apart. And I'm like, no, sorry. One, you've only been married like less than a year, if my memory is correct, and you don't get to talk about it. Yes. But she said to me, they've been together for 2.5 years. They've lived together 2.5 years, and that they've been through some stuff. I'm like, all right, but that's still not, in my view, very long. I remember seeing this article, and I'm sure I've talked about it on Lords of the Night, but there there was this article. Couples tell you the secret to a happy marriage. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Not a single couple they talked to had been married more than a year. Not a single one of them. I was like, you have no fucking idea. At less than a year, what it takes to make a happy marriage. You know what it's like to be in the honeymoon phase. That's what you know. Marital advice, just suck it. Hey, happy wife, happy life is a myth. You both deserve happiness. Absolutely. Look, I like to keep my wife happy, but again, this is where we talked before about boundaries. You have to have boundaries in your relationship. If there's something that would make Lady Monkey happy that I may not want to do, like going out, she's much more of a social butterfly than I am. But if it doesn't hurt me, like, sure, yeah, we can go do that. But if there's things that there are even certain social situations, I'm like, "No, I'm not fucking going." You still try to make her happy, and in a perfect marriage, she tries to make you happy. It's nice. It's nice how that can coexist, almost like I don't know, partnership. Oh man. You Yanks are weird. All your pies are dessert based. Come to Australia and experience the awesomeness that is a meat pie. Try a chicken pot pie, Dangerous Spaces. That's meat. And I'm fairly certain nobody eats those for dessert. But my sister says she has had low expectations. I think it is shit advice, but it seemed to work for her. They've been married 35 years. Um, yeah, that is weird advice. Have low expectations. For me, it's all about boundaries. Have boundaries. And my best advice, and unfortunately for the people who need it the most, this isn't going to be learned. Is pick your battles, especially if you get married young. I mean, everything seems like it's worth fighting over. You'll end up in dumbass fights, and at the end of it, you're like, how did this happen? The fuck were we even talking about? And it may have been as stupid as some actress on a TV show. Um, Learn to pick your battles. For me, that's where marriage actually got easier because I am as you might have noticed, an arguer. Somebody who believes they're right, and when they believe they're right, needs to express that. Um, it wasn't until I got a little older, it's like, that's just not worth fighting over. I don't care. I love you. That's what matters to me right now. Sarah says, my best advice: don't stop having fun with each other. It helps when times get tough. Um, I tell people also, never stop playing the I love you more game. I do that with my wife still. Like, I love you. I love you more. It's sad to me when couples grow out of the I love you more stage. Where it's almost a competition who loves who the most. Um and it was so fun when you were a kid. Don't you remember that when I don't know how many of you had girlfriends and stuff in high school or even at a younger age, but yeah, never stop the I love you more. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Exactly, Stan. Um, I can't think of any advice that I got before marriage. That My joke answer was let her out of the basement an hour a day, but I don't have a real one. I can't. I can't think of any advice I was given that either wasn't sound or I couldn't understand it. A lot of advice is situational too. Like the one where the one that Nakoko was talking about, where you need time apart. It doesn't have to be a long time apart. Doesn't have to be a long time apart. Um, just one of you having a hobby that takes up an hour a week can be enough for couples. Um, Johnny Hellcat, thank you so much. My advice: keep other noses out of your relationship. That's good advice, actually, it really is. Um, that can be a big problem in a lot of people's marriages. Here's some advice, Monkey. Keep being awesome. Milkman, I will do my best. I'm trying. Uh, but yeah, I can't I couldn't think of any real answer to that. Maybe I just didn't get enough advice or nobody cared. Nobody's like, Frank, come here. I need to talk to you. Don't be a dick. Actually, if I'd got the advice, pick your battles, it probably would have been a lot more helpful than whatever was said to me. But like the Petite Nicoco's one about time apart, where she said it's not actually good advice. She's 2.5 years into a relationship, and right now they're happy to be around each other at all times, and that's fine. And I hope that works for them. I really do. But for almost everybody I know, especially anybody who's been married close to as long as I have, you ask them like, "Do you need some alone time now and then?" They're like, "Fuck yes." So I love her. Dear God, I love her. But I need just a couple minutes a day, man. I just need 10 minutes to myself. Um, and it's not a insult to your partner. It's not. I mean, especially if you're somebody like me. I used to stay up later than my wife just because I needed that few minutes by myself. Few minutes by myself. It's all I needed. But I did need it. It was desperately needed. And I don't mean to say this. I'm sorry, Petite Nicoco, if you're listening. I don't mean to suggest that this is a gendered thing, because it probably isn't. But in my experience, women who hear that hey, I need just a little time to myself, they tend to take it as an insult, and it's really not. Prospero says 25 years. I love him, and there are moments, just moments, where my thought bubble is a dangerous space. I mean, there's always times it's just like, look, I just need a. Could you just go to the store or something? I don't need anything. I just need you to be gone for 15 minutes. I just need to watch this show by myself. I need I need to read Twitter and be a jackass over here without you looking over my shoulder, you know? I don't hide stuff from my wife. She knows how to get into all my stuff. She can do it. So it's not like there's that. It's just I need a moment. I need a moment. And I actually have more of that time now than I ever thought I would, because I didn't consider this when I was younger. I mean, it's like time stopped when we weren't together, if that makes any sense. So the time as I was at work or something, it's like that doesn't count as time away. I mean, it can for some people, I guess. But I just needed a couple of minutes to myself where I wasn't, you know, doing something, where it wasn't work. Just a couple minutes of free time. Just a couple minutes. And it's not an insult to anybody. And old married couples, they all know this. It's the young married ones. It's like, no, I just love them so very much. We all love them so very much. It's just that sometimes they get on our last goddamn nerve. Mm. It's hard to live with anybody. It's hard to live with anybody and not have that you're on my last fucking nerve moment. I've seen so many friends who decide, hey, we're gonna become roommates. This will be awesome. And then like 6 months later, they're not talking to each other. They hate one another. It's not just marriage, man. It's just trying to live with somebody else is not easy. And it's even worse. I mean, if you're just roommates, because there's not that, oh, yeah, we promised to love each other for life kind of bullshit. It's just, we liked each other. So we thought this would be a good idea. And yeah, yeah, I'm still struggling. If anybody can think of any, and I'm sorry if I've missed it in chat. You guys have been talking quite a bit, and I've been doing my best to keep up, but I'm also quite wordy at the moment. But I can't think of any advice that I got that wasn't good. But I will say this: young people, you know who I'm talking to. Don't be out there pretending I'm not like other young people. Shut up and listen, kid. A lot of what older people say to you, a lot of advice that they give you, a lot of stuff that you may feel doesn't apply to you, probably does. Probably does. Because it comes from experience. And that's not to say you're not going to get dumb advice from people. Of course you are. Everybody seems to have advice. Everybody. And a lot of people are stupid. But if you're getting the same advice over and over from different sources, there may be something to listen to there. Just gonna throw that out there. Old people can be a pain in the ass, but sometimes they I don't want to say they're smarter than you, but they have that life experience we've talked about. We've talked about life experience before. When you young ass kids are like, I'm 20 and I know everything. Your brain hasn't fully functioned and you have no fucking life experience. You've lived your whole life in your parents' house or on your parents' dime in a college dorm somewhere. You're you're not developed. Wait to have your own opinion until you fucking learned. Monkey, you're just being your normal chatty self. Well, that's true, Beth, but I try to keep up with chat, especially when I ask a question. I always feel bad when I ask you guys a question, and then 30 minutes later, I remember I asked you a question. Cirque says, no matter how mad you are with each other, walk away. No matter how mad you are with each other, never walk away or let each day go by without saying, I love you. Is that something you're saying that you shouldn't take, or is that good advice? Because I think sometimes walking away from a fight, and maybe that is one that I had heard when I was younger, but if we were having a fight, man, like, we're doing this shit. And she's just like, I just need time. And I'm like, And then we actually switched as we got a little older. I was the one who needed time. And she's like, I'm coming in. Like, God damn it. But I've never let a day go by without telling her I love her. There's been times I haven't let a second go by without saying it to her. Honestly, Monkey, there's some 40-year-olds that still know fuck all. Yeah, and I get that. And what I'm trying to get at more than the adult thing or old people thing is there's a lot of these kids these days. You darn kids who seem to think that old axioms and truths don't actually apply to you. And they do. And to me, it's usually the ones who argue against them the most are the ones that are most affected by it. I'm not saying that's the case in Nakoko's case. I believe her that she really loves being with her husband. And I'd like to ask her that same question in 10 years. Never think you can't learn. That's another good one. Cheryl says, I'm 55 and still learning shit. We just mentioned this the other day. I think when Ed was on. It is always possible to learn, even when you think you know everything. There's always the possibility that somebody else knows something you just missed. It happens all the time. Being a single dad is the best of both worlds. How so? Just curious. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. Well, again, one of my favorite sayings ever is it's what I learned after I knew everything that was really important. And I'm glad I learned that phrase when I did. I was probably 19 when I learned that. It was kind of huh, maybe I really am a dumbass. Because when you're 18 or 19-year-old boy, I don't know about these days because they've denutted you. They've turned you into a bunch of little girls. But back then it's like you You're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, man. Couldn't tell a young man shit that he didn't already know. Damn it. Because yeah, young men are stupid. But we think we know. We think we know. We fake it. D's nuts. That's right, Racy. All right. Oh, I hate to bring her up again, but I was going to go to sleep, you guys, and do this in the morning. And once again, something came across my blotter. Is that what it would be called? The news blotter? It came across my Twitter is what it really came across. About Katie Hill. And I read it kind of out of curiosity. And I should have known better. Because excuse me. Because it's stupid. And the tweet that I saw that listed it was stupid. This is how the tweet that was part of the CNN article where CNN tweeted out their own article. Forgiveness when it comes to the messiness of politics is a privilege not evenly distributed. More specifically, it's disproportionately withheld from women and Democrats, writes Brandon Tensley of Katie Hill's resignation. Did you get that? It's not that she, if she had been a Republican or Republican man, especially, she'd be fine right now. No big deal. I read that and I'm like, oh God, I got to read this article. Because that sounds fucking retarded. And then I read the article and it's fucking retarded. On Sunday, Democratic Rep Katie Hill of California announced her resignation from Congress following recent allegations that she had an improper relationship with a campaign staffer before taking office. She's denied separate allegations that she had an inappropriate relationship with a congressional staffer. It is the hardest thing I've had to do, but I believe it is the best thing for my constituents, my country, or my community and my country, Hill said in a statement. This is still one of my favorite parts of what she said. For the mistakes made along the way and the people who have been hurt, I am sorry. I am learning. She had to learn not to fuck people who work for her. This is a woman who, before she was elected, put up a Twitter post listing a whole bunch of guys who've been hashtag Me Too'd. And at the bottom of it, she wrote, maybe it's time for women to be in charge. Not just political people, but like Harvey Weinstein was on there and Louis C.K., all of these men. So she knows what a Me Too is. She named all these guys who'd been Me Too'd. And that was the reason that she needed to become a politician and run government. Oops. So it's not like she could sit here and pretend she didn't know it was a problem. That banging campaign staffers is a problem. Well, she was partly elected on the wave of Me Tooism. Of course she was. She played it up. She wrote that in 2017. If I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But I'm almost positive that tweet was from 2017 when she was still running for office or where she was getting ready to run for office. Or maybe she'd already started. I don't know when her campaign started. She was elected in 2018. So it's not like she didn't understand that but she probably did understand that as a woman, it's okay. I mean, that Asia Argento chick, she never really got in trouble for what she did. She slept with an underage kid. But that's all right, man. That's all right. Don't pay attention to that. She helped start the Me Too movement, so she got a halo, even if she's banging underage children. She actually turned it into it was his fault. He pursued her. Yeah. Basically what Milo Yiannopoulos described. We had to cancel him, remember? AJ Argento's name wasn't in that list that we saw from old Katie Hill before she was elected. Of course not. Of course not. You don't see the women's for it, right? But there's plenty to parse regarding the news about Hill. But one of the most important elements is this. Forgiveness, when it comes to the messiness of politics, is a privilege not evenly distributed. More specifically, it is disproportionately withheld from women and Democrats. Do you like that line there? The messiness of politics. When you're trying to deal with the messiness of politics, which apparently is vaginal fluid, it's semen. That's the messiness of politics. The fuck are you talking about? Now you guys see why I couldn't let this go away, why I couldn't sleep. I saw this stupid shit and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The messiness of politics. He goes on to list a bunch of people. Former Republican Senator Dave Vitter of Louisiana. In 2007, he admitted to having been previously involved in a Washington prostitution ring while in office. In 2010, he was reelected to the Senate. Now, I'm going to stop here because one, I don't know what he did or didn't do. I'm going to, you know what? I'll give them every example. I'll accept one. I'll accept one. No, there were more. Okay, so I'll give him this example. I'm not going to look him up because I don't give a fuck. But let's say that story is entirely true. He was part of a prostitution ring. Did they say running? I can't remember. No, he was involved. He was involved in a prostitution ring. So I don't know if he fucked some prostitutes or what. Doesn't matter to me. Nobody forced Katie to step down. Nobody forced her to step down. She could have stayed in office and she probably would have been reelected because we forgive women for being nasty hoes. It's actually it's like a virtue these days. It's replaced not having STDs. If you are a dirty whore, oh man, they will love you, especially if your pussy stinks. Just throwing that out there. Sorry about the pussy stink thing. I still have trouble getting over that. Vitter was caught on the floor texting a whore. Cool. And I mean, if his constituents wanted to kick him out, that's fine. They obviously didn't. They thought, you know what? Your sex life is none of my business. Cool. But I don't know enough about the story to talk about it intelligently. But what I will say is just like Vitter, she wasn't forced out. They did not have a, we'll get to that in a minute. No one, nowhere. You're getting ahead of me. Slow down. They didn't have a vote to remove her from office, which Congress is allowed to do. They can vote to kick out people. There was no vote on this. It had barely gotten to the ethics committee. There's no reason for her to have left, except for what they don't talk about in this story. The part that should have made everybody go, what? The part where she said, we don't know what's coming next. Yeah, you do, bitch. Yes, you do. You know what else you did on camera for him. Stop it. Stop playing. I still would. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just thinking there's probably some video or pictures of her doing something a little more dastardly than marijuana. Maybe involving a rolled up $100 bill. You know what I mean? You know, some Beto stuff, Beto kind of stuff. I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm speculating because she stepped down over this. And worst case scenario, I mean, it's an ethics violation. she may have gotten slapped with a censure, or the chance of the House coming to a full vote to kick her out for having sex with the guy she was supposedly having sex for. Say they came out with absolute proof that that's what she was doing. They weren't going to kick her out over it. Worst case, maybe a fine. Maybe nothing was going to happen to her. The only real problem was if something worse came out. Especially something that did show she'd done something really horrible. Not that I think coke is really horrible. It's not something I'd do or recommend to anybody, but the voting public at large would be like, oh, wait a minute. She was snorting coke off someone's ass? Yeah, maybe we won't rehire her. You got to be in like DC politics, actually in DC, in order to to get away with like doing crack or something and getting reelected. Exactly, Prospero. She knows what she did on camera. Or at least she knows what she's done and can't remember if it's all on camera. This is a 32-year-old girl who was banging a 22-year-old girl. Does anybody know when exactly that affair stopped? Because they've changed it back and forth now. I've heard it said different ways. Was the chick who she ended up, or that she admits to banging, did she ever work for Katie while she was in office? And I'm wondering, because we've been told that this 22-year-old chick, something is wrong with Katie's pussy because it has just totally destroyed this girl. Totally destroyed her. Katie might have the hep something, might have allegedly, and it got in her mouth and just destroyed her brain. I don't know what it is. I don't know what destroys a 22-year-old from having sex with this other chick. I'm just guessing here. Maybe, I'm throwing this out there, she has a little habit that she didn't used to. I'm just curious what it is that destroyed her. Or maybe Katie's vag was so good when it got taken away, it was like taking crack from an addict, something like that. Different crack. She just can't live without that that salty goodness. Anyhow, maybe she can't get her hair brushed just right now. I don't know. Anyway, but the point being, I know I've gone in a roundabout way here. The point being, nobody made her step down. She would still have her job if she didn't quit. She's worried about what else will come out, and she told us that in her statement. Let's see, Republican 2020 presidential candidate Mark Sanford. You mean the one nobody's paying attention to? He completed his second term as the governor of South Carolina after he admitted in 2009 that he had a taxpayer-funded affair. In 2013, he once again ran for and won the seat in Congress. Okay, he got reelected. Katie could get reelected. All of the examples they give here, and I'm going to throw this in chat because I'm not going to read all of them. All of them are these things where, okay, nobody forced them out and they got reelected. What's the problem? Katie's not a victim here. Now, and we'll get to that because there's some thoughts that she's a victim. But then they finish with this one, or at least on the Republican side. And this is to say nothing of President Donald Trump, who has remained unscathed by allegations that more than a dozen women have publicly leveled against him, ranging from unwelcome advances to sexual harassment and assault. The president has repeatedly denied all such accusations. Well, there you go. Katie tried denying, and then she had to admit what we'd all saw already. You don't have... Are there pictures out there of a naked Trump brushing some chick's hair? Against her will, mind you. He's like running around with his dick out, just random brushing. Yeah, David, yeah. Teddy Kennedy fucking killed a woman. But you got to remember, David, They made this about Democrats and women. See. If Ted was a woman, she wouldn't have got away with that. Wouldn't have got away with that. But again, the allegations against Trump. Yeah, exactly. Nuts. Allegations with, you guys can't see it. I'm doing bunny ears that I'm wiggling. The vast majority of them are, he tried kissing me. All right. And did you say no? Yeah. And did he let it go? Uh-huh. So nothing happened? Yeah. Yeah, that's what most of them are. Do you remember how hot they got about E. James, whatever the fuck her name is, and her rape allegation against Trump? The one that all you had to do is ever take a woman out of tights and realize was nonsense. E. James Carroll, was that her name? I can't remember. E. Jean Carroll, something like that. The one who went on Anderson Cooper and said, it wasn't Anderson Cooper where she said rape was sexy, is it? Yeah, it was. It was at the end of that one where she says rape is kind of sexy. I'm like, what? Bitch, what'd you say? But if they'd paid attention to her story from the beginning, Terry Diamandis, thank you so much. Your tears say more than real evidence ever could. Indeed, right? Indeed. The original story of, if anybody knows if I'm right, I think it's E. Jean Carroll. I think it's E. Jean Carroll. But she wrote a book where she wrote of 11 instances throughout her life where she'd been assaulted or raped. And I don't mean to laugh there, but after seeing this one, I can't believe many of the others are true, including the Girl Scout director, the male Girl Scout director who molested her when she was like 12. But in this case, she said Donald Trump pushed her into a dressing room. She was wearing tights and a skirt. And with one hand, he pushed her tights down as she was up against a wall and shoved his penis up into her a couple of times. Like, well, one, I don't know if you women can do it yourselves, but trying to get tights off a woman with one hand is nigh on impossible. That is, that's like, whew. Yeah, you guys ever tried taking tights off a woman? It's not easy. They're tight. I think that's why they call them that. But then trying to have sex standing up with somebody who's unwilling. You ever had stand-up sex just when they are willing? You have to kind of maneuver before you can get in there in the first place. So if they had done even an ounce of thinking over the story, because all of that story was already known before she went on, say, Anderson Cooper, where Anderson said, adding to the 15 credible allegations of sexual assault against the president is this lady. And then he tells that, and at the end she has to go, rape is sexy, and he has to go, oh hell, we need to get this bitch off our stage. It was great. Thank you, Andrew Joyner. Apparently I paid too much in taxes last year, so I'm feeling generous. Also off topic, but what happened to Gutenberg these days? I don't know. I haven't seen Gut in a while. He was around maybe a month ago, but I haven't seen him since. I hope he's well, and thank you so much for the donation. But yeah, so you had that's part of the credible allegations the media thinks need to be paid attention to. These credible allegations. Meanwhile, when President Clinton was in office, I mean, there's never mind. I can't blame people for today, except for the ones who were around, but they didn't give a fuck about the credible allegations against Bill Clinton. And seriously, there were some credible ones. But then, okay, back to our article. Even Democrat Al Franken, who resigned from his Senate seat in 2018 following allegations that he had touched women inappropriately, is attempting a bit of a comeback, having headlined Politicon last weekend. Dun, dun, dun. Al Franken got railroaded. He did. This is another case where we heard a couple of couple of instances of he tried to kiss somebody awkwardly, and otherwise there was that picture of him pretending to grab somebody's titty. He didn't even grab the titty. He was miming over the top of the woman's clothes and over the top. He wasn't on her clothing. He was over it while she was sleeping. And oh my goodness, he probably raped her. Well, they didn't say that, but you know what I mean. And it was Kristen Gillibrand who made a big stink about it, to like, we have to hold him accountable. She was just mad he didn't care about her. So yeah, he resigned, but apparently he's making a comeback, y'all, because he headlined Politicon. All right. Katie didn't have to resign. Seriously. If all she did was fuck one of her aides, which by the way became a problem in the Congress, thanks to Me Too, that's a new rule, by the way, guys. That is a new rule. This isn't something that's been around for a long time. You used to be able to bang your underlings without it being a big problem. Now it's an ethics violation. Thanks to Me Too. But I still say there's something else coming out. There was something else. And you know what? It'll probably still come out. Because this stuff in the media, none of this was about her politics. None of it was about that. This is about her divorce. She is breaking up with the man she used to be in a throuple with. He says because she started taking other dick, and she says because he was beating her. Well, she doesn't actually say beating her. She just says abusive, which these days can mean he didn't ask her how she was feeling every morning. And I'm not trying to what's the word? Downplay actual abuse. This is serious shit. This is the kind of thing. It's emotionally abusive if you don't pay certain amounts of attention at the right times. That's not from me. That's from the crazies on that side. So I don't know what this abuse is. I don't think it's been detailed yet. She sure as hell hasn't fought back with pictures saying, look, here's where he broke my nose. That's why it's this big. I mean, sorry. He failed to put the toilet seat down. Abuse. Yes. And all kidding aside, that's the kind of shit that they will tell you is abusive in relationships these days. She started an open relationship without telling him, so cheating. Yeah, that's what he said. His wording was that she started an open relationship. They'd had the throuple, but she started taking, what's his name? Graham? How do you fuck somebody named Graham? Do you call him like Cracker or something? It's a good thing Graham's white. He's a Graham Cracker. No, and I'm not being mean there, but that just sounds like such a sad name. Is anybody named Graham? It's okay. My name's Francis. I'm just fucking with you. How you fuck somebody named Graham? Stop it. Put that pussy away. Anyway, yeah, so this came out because of their divorce. It has nothing to do with her politics. And she goes, my opponents have weaponized it against me. Yeah, because you're kind of a whore. You're kind of a whore, and there's an ethics violation involved here. There's now an official ethics investigation because of it. Thank you, Big Assassin, who says a lot of overtime gets you 5 for Lords of the Night entertainment while I suffer. LOL. Thank you so much. I hope the overtime is something you wanted and not forced. There were a lot of times that I took overtime because it was something we wanted rather than desperately needed. And that's a good place to be. It's a good place to be able to say, yes, I'd like that overtime rather than, please let me have that so I can eat next week. Because we've been there too. No choice, no help. Ah, shit, man. Sorry. I've been there too, man. It's amazing what all you've been through when you're old as fuck. Forced OT rape. That's right. He's being OT raped right now. No, there were times it's like, look, there's we have all this work that still needs done. A lot of the times that happened to us, it was because people didn't count where the shit, and we'd find out on, say, a Friday night that we needed to run the machines for another 10 hours, and there was nobody around to do it. And we couldn't have just one person in the building at one time. There always had to be two people in there for safety reasons, even though we couldn't see each other. We were on different parts of the building. So if my buddy had gotten sucked up into the machine, I wouldn't have known until break time when I went to see him and like, oh shit, there's his shoes. But we'd have to have two. So it's like, can you guys please work tomorrow? And we're like, yeah, fuck it, sure, why not? But yeah, I get you. I get you. I hope you're at least able to find a way to have fun. I wish I could have gotten more overtime when I was younger, or even more hours. Fuck the 40 limit. There were actually times I wish I could have worked more, like at Walmart, so I could have gotten a lot more done. Because one, the people who worked directly for me were great, but the people who sometimes worked around me were shitbags that caused problems. But at the shop, man, we got, there's only like maybe a 6-month period I worked there. I worked there for like 6 years where we didn't have overtime. We had overtime all the fucking time there, man. We made lots of widgets. I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I got distracted by widgets. Oh, we were talking about Katie. So, let's get to the crux of the matter. Put another way, men practically, or particularly those of a certain political persuasion, are given redemption arcs, while women who dare to challenge norms, such as Sandra Fluke, who in 2012 was slut-shamed after she testified before Congress in an effort to persuade Georgetown University to include birth control in its healthcare coverage, are expected to buckle to biases and ultimately bow out. I don't know if you caught all of the bullshit in that one, but don't worry, we're going to go over it. Sandra Fluke. Do you guys remember Sandra Fluke? Sandra Fluke's the whore that got up in front of Congress and testified that it takes like what was her $3,000 worth of birth control a year or some shit like that? Maybe it was 300. I can't remember. Rush Limbaugh jokingly called her a whore, and several people online jokingly called her a whore. I don't know if she's a whore or not, but Mata says, who? Sandra Fluke. She was a chick who was called up to testify in front of Congress because she wanted the university she went to pay for her birth control. My body, my choice. My body, your bill. And a lot of people, gave her shit because, like, fuck it, go pay for your own birth control, whore. But they're comparing that. That woman wasn't elected. She was a one-time witness in the House. There was no reason for her to ever be part of the national conversation again. But because when she was done, some people jokingly called her a whore. That was what some part of this double standard. The fuck are you? I feel like I've said that a lot in this article, and I say that a lot in all the articles we read because Jesus Christ, there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there. The fuck does Sandra Fluke have to do with this bitch? See, let's back up a minute. Put another way, men, particularly of those of certain political persuasions, are given redemption arcs, while women who dare to challenge norms. All right, let's hang on there. Instead of putting that to Sandra Fluke, okay, let's put that to Katie Hill, because that's who we're talking about. What norm did she challenge? Is banging her staffer a norm she was challenging? Is that what that was? Was that part of sexual revolution? Was that some sexual independence. Seriously, you had to change the whole fucking subject to a non-elected person who got made fun of for saying she needed like $3,000 for birth control. By the way, yeah, you can get a box of, I think it's like 40 condoms at Walmart for $11. I wouldn't trust those ones. I'd go with a different brand and give yourself the best chance at not being a dad or mom if you don't want to be. But yeah, you don't need $3,000. I want to say it was $3,200. I could be wrong, but that, because I remember reading, I was like, fuck, why? You are a whore. Kind of dirty whore needs a, I don't even think if you're paying all by yourself for your birth control, it's that much. I could be wrong. I've never paid out of pocket completely for the pill, so I don't know. But anyhow, you had to, this writer had to change it from Hill to Fluke, so he could say challenging the norms. None of the other article or the other people that he mentioned were men challenging norms. They were men who behaved badly. They were having sex with people they probably shouldn't have been having sex with, or at least allegedly were having sex with people they shouldn't have been having sex with. But we have to defend Katie and the Whammons, so challenging norms. Kind of stupid shit, man. This is why our electorate is so fucking stupid right now. This is CNN. And for whatever you think, they may have like some of the lowest ratings on cable right now as far as cable news. They still reach a lot of people. And this is the kind of stupid shit those people are reading without my expert analysis to go along with it. But in addition to double standards and the fact that Democrats, at least in the post-Bill Clinton era, seem willing to hold their own accountable to a degree Republicans aren't, there's something else that shouldn't be overlooked wait, okay, stop. Katie Hill was not held accountable by her party. In fact, they were mostly being silent. I did see, was it Cortez? I want to say it was, let me look because I want to get this right. I think it was AOC who came out and like, what happened to Katie Hill is just wrong. Where's that stupid shit she wrote? No. Okay, if she did write that, it's gone now. I can't remember who it was. I swear it was her. I should have marked it when it happened. Anyway. Man, she's on a tear about Zuckerberg, ain't she? Shut up, donkey. Leave him alone. He ain't doing nothing to you. Anyway. But the Democrats didn't push her out. Nancy Pelosi didn't come out and say, I think she needs to step down. I don't know why I gave her a Southern voice there. I don't know why I do half the shit I do. But yeah, she wasn't held accountable yet. Anyway, there's something else that shouldn't be overlooked in the Katie Hill debacle, that she also appears to be a victim of revenge porn, which is illegal both in District of Columbia and California. No, she isn't. Stop right there. You can make the claim that her naked body is kind of pornographic. All right, fine. I'll give you that. What they should have done is blacked out the nipple, and blacked out the vagina. Absolutely. But the rest of the photo, most of the photos that were released, the people are completely dressed in. Absolutely. There's some wonderful fireside looking moments where the girls are making out, but it's just a kiss. There's no revenge porn in this. He didn't release a video of her fucking somebody. Yeah, it's a little bit murky because she is naked. And like I said, what he should have done, and I don't know if he did this, the pictures I saw, they were, what's the word I'm looking for? Altered, I guess. Like the one of her with the bong, which is a stand-up picture of her. I think you see from the top of her head to about, I don't know, a third way down the thigh. So you get most of her body in that scene. But the part of her vagina, it looked like somebody had blacked it out with a marker. It didn't look like it was done with Photoshop or anything. It looked like somebody scribbled on it with a marker. So if the guy who released these did that, um, Mata says she posted them on a married women's site, apparently. Well, if she had posted these publicly herself, I hadn't heard that yet, then she's got no leg to stand on. Literally no leg to stand on. Porn is a depiction of sex, not nudity. Well, I see what you're saying there, Sam, but when it comes to revenge porn, releasing nudes of a former lover. Why did it take me so long to grab that word? But releasing just nudes of a lover is considered revenge porn by most states that have those statutes. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to do that. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. These pictures would have been just as damning if he covered up the nipples and the vagina. And I hope he did, because like I said, I never actually saw a nipple. I never actually saw a vagina. But I don't know who blocked him out. Nude photos aren't porn unless they're art. I mean, he could try making the case that they were art. It's his. He has the copyright on those pictures. They are his. He took them. And we know he took them because, well, he's not in them. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with the porn laws or revenge porn laws. Over the past week, a conservative blog and a British tabloid magazine have disseminated back that up. A conservative blog and a British tabloid magazine have disseminated intimate photos of Hill, claiming that she and her husband of 9 years, Kenny Heslip, had a separate relationship with a campaign staffer. You know what they didn't say here? Which she later admitted to. Because she did. And the intimate, see, they say intimate photos like that, and there were none of them that were really graphically pornographic. I mean, in the one, she's for some reason naked and brushing the girl's hair, and the girl's completely dressed. The other one that you saw nudity was her with the bong. It looked like getting out of a shower, I think is what it was. But none of them were, I mean, intimate photos. Yeah, intimate. They were kissing or hugging or fuck off with this nonsense. I want to, who wrote this shit? Brandon Tensley. You are a bitch. That's what you are. I want to see this guy. I bet he looks like Brian Stelter's little brother. Let's find out. Let's see if I can find old Bradley or Brandon, whatever the fuck his name is. No, images. I want images of Brandon. Oh no. I feel bad now. I think he's special. Oh, guys, I am so sorry. He kind of does look like Stelter's little brother, but black. What the fuck is wrong with the top of his head? Looks like he was in the vagina canal way too long. Holy this top part of his head, that's where he comes up with this bullshit the rest of us aren't smart enough to think of. What in the fuck is wrong with your head, dude? Grow out an afro so nobody sees that. What the hell? Sorry. Now I'm being mean to him. I know we're not supposed to make personal insults and stuff like that, but dear God, man, get that. He does still kind of have that Brian Stelter look. He's black, so he's not as, he looks cooler than Stelter because, well, he has a crowning ring. Exactly. It looks like he was like stuck in his mama's vagina was tight, man. Wonder how tall she is. Anyway, we're still not done with this stupid ass article. He has a nipple head. God damn it. I'm trying to read. That's all right. Where are we at? There it is. In this light, this isn't merely a story of dueling responses to sexual misbehavior. It's also a story of a foul assault on a woman's privacy. In a video statement on Monday, Hill alleges that her, quote, abusive husband, whom she's in the midst of a divorce proceeding with. Do you realize he can sue her? Do you think her lawyer has told her this? She has to prove abusiveness at this point. She has said it in the media so much. He's not a public figure. She is. Anyhow, abusive husband, whom she's in the midst of a divorce proceeding with, and, quote, hateful political operatives are attempting to humiliate her via the photos. CNN has reached out to Heslip for comment, but has not heard back. You know, this is something, I don't know if you guys know this, but the news media will do this from time to time. They will they'll have a story like this, you know, where there's dueling sides, right? And they obviously have a bias, but they also want to be able to say they reached out to one side. So they'll wait till like an hour before print before they do it. So they'll like this is going live at it's at 8:00 p.m. We reached out for comment at 7:55 to the person, and they didn't respond. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened here. I'm just throwing that out there. If you guys didn't know that, the media does that shit. Our media is dirty as fuck, man. Anyway, where are we at? But here's the twist. Hill is fighting back. In the aftermath of the publications of the photos, she's pursuing legal action against outlets that shared the photos. Dun, 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 dun. Good luck. They shared photos that were given to them. There's this, what's that thing called? Oh, yeah, free press. You should be able to maybe go after him. I don't know, maybe the Gawker rule, would that apply here? What was it exactly that Gawker got in trouble for? Was it just because they showed Hulk Hogan having sex? And when he comes, does he do the has she not heard of the Streisand effect? Yeah, I know it was Hulk Hogan. I just don't know. I don't know what exactly the ruling was there. Whether that's something that could affect because it's a Mirror and Red State, I think, were the two. The online site was Red State, and the British thing that they talked about, the British publication, it was the Mirror. I'm pretty sure it was a private tape. Fair enough. Oh, and you know what? They didn't own it. I don't know. I don't know if that would hold up here or not. I don't know if it would follow the same thing if she could like sue them in a jury, but she's pursuing legal action. So good luck, honey. Gawker published a Hulk Hogan sex tape. Did he keep calling the woman brother? I don't know. I just remember when it happened, and nope, copyright protects the husband. And if he gave it to them, I mean, I don't know enough about their revenge porn laws. I'm not sure how this one would work out. But don't worry, you guys. Don't worry. There's more to it. Hang on. Quote, I'm hurt. I'm angry. The path that I saw so clearly for myself is no longer there. Because you resigned, you silly cunt. Excuse me. That's something stuck in my throat. Hill says in the Monday video, I never claimed to be perfect, but I but I never thought my imperfections would be weaponized and used to try and destroy me and the community I've loved for my entire life. Let's listen to that again. I never claimed to be perfect, but I never thought my imperfections would be weaponized and used to try to destroy me and the community I've loved my entire life. You are aware that polygamy is illegal, right? You don't have to be perfect to know that. You do know. I mean, and look, it's your marriage. I'm not saying it's not. So you do what you want to, but you did agree to like forsake all others, and that you were gonna only fuck this guy for the rest of your life, right? And again, he has those same imperfections, obviously. Um, do you have to be told it's wrong to take dick he doesn't know about? Do you do you? We hear this a lot from people. I'm not perfect when they do something horrible. I'm not a perfect man. I'm not a perfect woman. All right. But what we're usually hearing that from is when y'all are doing something really fucking stupid that shouldn't take perfection to see. Um anyway, as visible as the theme of impunity for male misbehavior has become in the past couple of years, so too has the power of women's anger at the world's many gendered injustices. This rage is no longer a cause for shame, but rather a cause for its own weaponization. Dun dun dun. To every girl and woman, to everyone who believes in this fight, this isn't over, Hill tweeted on Sunday. There's every reason to believe she's right. Hey Ed, what's up, man? Yeah, so Katie's gonna fight the good fight, y'all. She's gonna go out there and fight for other women who had to deal with their husband to have sex with another woman, but then took a dick instead. And she's gonna make sure they have a voice. I can't believe this bitch. I really cannot. I'm not perfect. Nobody said you had to be perfect. And then at the beginning of this article, the messiness that is politics. Wait, what the fuck does that have to do with having sex with your interns or with your staff? Is that the mess? Apparently it is. Apparently it is. That is what messiness of politics is. It's KY or something. I don't know what exactly it is, but good God. Good God. Can we just stop pretending she didn't do anything wrong here? She's admitted she's done something wrong. She's quitting. She could say, look, this was she could pull a Bill Clinton. Just be like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Fucking ignore it. Fucking ignore it. Go through the ethics process. You'll get a slap on the hand. They're not going to remove you from office for this. They're not going to remove you from office, even if you did actually fuck old Graham boy, whatever the hell his full name, Graham Kelly, Graham Cracker. I don't know what his name is. But if you actually did fuck him, because he's the one you're in trouble for with the ethics committee. If it turns out you actually did, who cares? You get a slap on the hand. You're the one who's quitting. You're quitting so you can make a quitting so you can go make a difference. Because that makes all the sense in the world. I'm leaving Congress so I can change things. What a dumb bitch. Sweetheart, if you want to change things, one of the best places to do it is in Congress. I don't know if anybody told you this before you ran, but that's actually where bills are written up and voted on. Nuts, thank you, sweetheart, so much for dropping the Streamlabs link. Yeah, guys, remember, Monkey in the Morning is brought to you by you. If you enjoy what you see here, please consider donating. Also, liking and sharing the video is very, very helpful. I appreciate it. And there's t-shirts and mugs you can buy at the shop down below. Well, Congress has no power. Well, the stretch that this guy went on to write this story where it makes her sound like the victim. Oh my God. That's some next level shit there. It's that skull cap level shit that he has going on. These fucking people. CNN, seriously. Why don't you just come out as Democrat? At this point, why don't you just come out as Democrat? It's not like we don't know. Now, as I was thinking about this story, because I did put a little bit of thought in the professional world after she came out of college. She started sucking off a man named Willie Brown. She might have done butt stuff and pussy stuff with him too. I'm not positive. I don't know what sexual relations they had, but his old ass got to bang that young, fresh out of college pussy quite often, even though he was a married man. And everybody was like, okay. Nobody cared. Kamala hasn't been run out of office because she got her political start fucking an old dude. And even he said, yeah, I helped her career. He said, I helped a lot of people's career, but yeah, I helped her career. He didn't suggest that he helped her, or he would have helped her career even if she hadn't have sucked his dick. And that's something I guess we'll never know, but she slept her way up. She absolutely did. Nobody's even bringing that up in this election. I kind of hope she gets the nomination because Trump will bring it up, but none of the Democrats are bringing it up. Nobody on the nobody at the in our press is bringing it up. None of them care. They're like, oh yeah, she slept. She was publicly involved with a married man. It was just out there. It was just out there. Everybody knew it. It was an open secret. I mean, there's pictures of him going to events with his wife and Kamala. What's her name? Camel Toe? Y'all know Elizabeth Warren, right? Elizabeth Warren spent a good chunk of her life lying about her heredity. She lied about her heritage as an Indian woman. Knowingly lied. Bitch knowingly lied. And used it to get ahead. This honky ass bitch making a name for herself and a career for herself, not just on the backs of Indians, but taking their place. Places that were, designated for them to help them get ahead. She took those spots. This honky motherfucker. Now, I bring these two women up because as I remember, they're both running for president right now. So I feel like their redemption arc. Fucking Warren, her redemption arc, there was no need for an arc. She just kept going straight up. She comes out and releases that goddamn DNA report. You remember that? 1064th Indian? The bitch had the nerve to actually put that out? I mean, good for her for at least being honest about it finally later in life when it doesn't matter anymore. After she had her Pow Wow Chow cookbook. We have people who think you're the fucking devil if you wear an Indian headdress on Halloween, but she could be part of a book called Pow Wow Chow, and it's no big deal. It's no big deal. So tell me again about how oppressed Democratic women are. Tell me again. Oh my God. You are so goddamn transparent that it's I've mentioned this many times. It used to be, I mean, you can always tell that there's biases out there. Biases are impossible to get away from. You can do your best, and a lot of people do very good with at least trying. But we've gotten to a place where they don't even try anymore. Don't even try. The Washington Post, when they reported Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi dying, actually referred to him as a religious scholar who died, instead of saying terrorist, murderous motherfucker They actually had to come out and apologize for their obituary for al-Baghdadi because of the way they wrote it originally, and actually said the way that was written never should have happened. But it did. That's the point. But it did. Doesn't this get in your brain at all? Somebody you hired wrote that shit without irony and put it out into the fucking world. And oh my God. It's like, are you out of your fucking minds? You don't even try. And then the Washington Post spent all of yesterday trying desperately to make al-Baghdadi still seem like kind of a decent guy. And to fuck with Trump because Trump said that what was that line from their one story yesterday? Trump painted him as painted al-Baghdadi as a coward because he ignited a suicide vest, which isn't cowardly. They made the they almost made the Bill Maher 9/11 argument. And I'm sorry I don't have it right up here in front of me. Watch Lords of the Night, you'll catch it. It's in the first half hour. So you don't have to watch that much if you don't want to watch the whole show. But back in 9/11, Bill Maher actually said the terrorists were kind of brave. And that ended up costing him his politically incorrect show. Now, I disagree with what he said, but I also disagree with him being fired for saying it. His point being that it takes some courage to blow yourself up that way. I don't think it does, especially when you think that you're going to be praised by Allah and granted 72 virgins and live the life of luxury for eternity. But to Bill, that was a major brave act. But this article kind of makes the same claim that basically blowing yourself up instead of being captured is brave. Blowing yourself up is kind of brave. Like, are you fucking serious? Max Boot said that him committing suicide was not cowardly. So the Hitler defense, yeah. When I heard that tonight, when we were reading the article on Lords of the Night, that was my thought. I didn't say it because I'm leaving it. But I do wonder how many of these people who think al-Baghdadi was so brave for blowing himself up thought Hitler was brave. Man, committing suicide to escape facing consequences for your heinous crimes against humanity is the very essence of cowardly. Exactly, Sam. Exactly. But not to liberals who are desperate to make Trump sound bad. Because that's the whole reason the person who wrote that, and again, I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. That's the whole reason that they brought that up is because Trump called the guy a coward. And we got to be careful. We can't insult terrorists. Got to be careful. We don't want to offend the terrorists. For fuck's sake. But that's the press, man. The Washington Post had so much egg on its face over that goddamn obituary. They did everything they could yesterday to make Trump the bad guy without actually making him the bad guy. How about this, guys? How about this? I know you hate Trump, but how about this? We won one. We got the fucker. The end. Dangerous Spaces says, I just told you Max Boot said it. I believe you, Dangerous, but I don't remember that from the story, so I'm putting that little caveat in there. I apologize. If that was from Max Boot, I don't know. But I'll take your word for it. But if anybody listens back to Lords of the Night and that's not what it is, blame Dangerous. Yeah, there were a whole bunch of people yesterday trying to make this somehow Trump did a bad. We killed al-Baghdadi. That's a good thing. Well, we didn't even kill him. He blew himself up. We scared his ass into blowing himself up. He took out 3 of his kids with him. Now they say 3 of his kids. I don't know the ages of them, but I'm really not a sins of the father kind of thing, and I hope these weren't young children. If they were fighters with him of age, then fuck them. I'm glad they're dead. But that part I'm not too cool with. I don't know if he uh, took out some of his little kids. I don't know what kind of kids he had. But as for him himself, I don't care the fucker's dead. I'm glad he's dead. I just wish we would have got the shot off. I wish that dog would have got a hold of him. Apparently, he was tracked down by a dog and cornered into a part of the cave that was a dead end. And he's just like, fuck it. So, yeah. He was 48, so they probably weren't real young. His wife was a little kid. Oh, goddamn it, zombie. Oh, that's probably true. Anyway, yeah, it was fun watching the press try desperately to make this somehow bad. And they even blew up the story about Trump getting booed at the Nationals game at the World Series yesterday. We talked a little bit about the World Series. Oh, real quick, thank you, Terry. Trump indirectly causes the death of 3 innocent children. Washington Post, probably. You're right. I'm surprised that's not what it said. Because they're shitbags, man. They were desperate to find a way to make it Trump's bad. But anyway, we talked a little bit about the World Series game yesterday because 3 hoes showed their titties to the pitcher. And it turns out they showed their titties to the pitcher for breast cancer. Okay. Comparatively speaking, breast cancer gets plenty of money for research and stuff. I'm not saying don't give money to it. Great. But can we please stop pretending nobody knows about it? Can we stop that from? We have to raise breast cancer awareness. We know. And it's something we need to strive to to get rid of. But do you know what kills most women? Same thing that kills most men, heart disease. When was the last time you saw a walk for heart disease? I actually, back when in my blogging days, I got in trouble for an article I wrote about this very subject. Breast cancer, I want to say, what was it, number 3 or 4 actual for killers of women? And I could be wrong on that. It's been a while since I wrote this, but the number 1 killer by far is heart disease. They have charity events for heart disease all the time. They're getting to be more common. When was the last time? What is the pin color for heart disease? I bet you everybody here can tell me the pin color for breast cancer. How many of you guys can tell me the pin color for heart disease without looking it up? Pin color for breast cancer, and that one, I mean, we know that one too. Everybody knows that one. Everybody knows that one. The heart disease is by far the number 1 killer of all humans, except al-Baghdadi. And it does not get the same attention that breast cancer does. And the reason it doesn't get the same attention as breast cancer is because breast cancer only affects women, and it became a cause for women rather than actually being about breast cancer at all. And I know that's probably going to piss some people off, and I don't really give a fuck. If you look at the funding levels, it just makes no goddamn sense. No sense at all. You know what we need? What we need a relay for heart disease, because getting up and walking more will probably help you with that shit. Last I knew, walking did not affect breast cancer. I'm not sure, but and again, I'm not saying we shouldn't have awareness for breast cancer. I'm just, how about a little reality involved? You know how many people survive heart disease? Yep. It's not a very easy thing to survive. Bomb is the number one cause of death of terrorists. You're not wrong there, Michael. Well, especially, well, we'll just leave it at that. Looked it up. It's red, says Faithless. Yeah, I just don't think many people know that. I think everybody knows what the pink is. And I don't mean to get off on this, but the idea that you got to show your titties on national TV because we need to raise awareness for breast cancer. We're aware of it. We're aware. And yes, it needs funding and all that. And it gets plenty, especially when you're talking about the amount of deaths related and such, the number of people affected and such. It's almost, I don't want to say it's overly funded, but compared to others, it's overly funded. That doesn't mean we should lower the funding for that. It means we should raise the funding for the other things. So anyway, the girls did get in trouble. They got kicked out of the World Series and banned for life. But they're also part of some X-rated something or other. I didn't look into it real deep. I got to their excuse. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You were trying to get Instagram followers. That's what I think. And at least I would respect you more if you said that. I don't think it's I don't think it's that big of a deal, but Jesus Christ. Don't blow smoke up my. I showed my titties on TV for breast cancer. No, you didn't. Shut up. You did not. Anyway, you showed it to get attention for yourself, not for titties. Oh God, you could have got attention for breast cancer just by holding up a sign. You know. Anyway, yeah, you'll be forgotten tomorrow, sweetheart. There's titties everywhere. We have an abundance of titties these days, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I am one of those people who I support women being allowed to take their shirts off in public. I support that for everybody except for my daughter and granddaughters. Everybody else, I don't care if they're topless in public. Good for you. That's where I stand. I laugh, but it's true. Anyway, I didn't even mean to get off on that because I was going to talk about something else. Trump got booed at that game. Got booed, man. He got booed, and they started chanting, "Lock him up." And then on top of that, this is some funny shit. So people, they all over Twitter, "Lock him up, yay!" They were losing their shit because, haha, he deserves it. Fuck him. He's the president. There's some people. Why didn't you take Barron to the game? He'd have liked that. Why didn't he take his son somewhere where his dad was going to be booed and chanted to be locked up? I wonder. Yeah, but they were giving him shit about that. You should have taken your kid, you dick. Well, maybe if you guys weren't dicks, he'd have taken his kid. I don't know. Maybe his kid has school tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway. But this became the big thing. It actually kind of overtook the al-Baghdadi story. The president getting booed. And Piers Morgan came out and he said, it's kind of a disgrace. It's a national disgrace what happened at the Nationals game yesterday. And there were people like, oh, no, it wasn't. We are allowed to criticize our president. He's like, yeah, but something major just happened. Something your country should have been celebrating. You had a major victory here. You didn't even have to boo him. You could have just been quiet. How about that? This one guy responded, "This is why I don't read Piers anymore," which is odd because he was responding to Piers. What was he said, "I'll boo him if I want to, blah, blah, blah. If you want me to cheer, show your tax returns." That's what he said. Let me read the exact thing. So I'm not, I don't want to take moron McDumbfuck out of context here. I want to make sure I get the full context. You know what I mean? Where's it at here? Right here. Crap like this is exactly why I unfollowed Piers. This is America, and we have every right to express our feelings. If I was at the game, I would have booed the hell out of him too. You want to cheer? Release your tax returns. We killed a major terrorist. Our military tracked this motherfucker down into the hole he was hiding in and scared him into blowing himself up. But you need to see his tax returns. Faithless says, and he has every right to call you a disgrace, which, by the way, Faithless, is something that Piers pointed out to the guy. Yeah, that was Piers. This is a response. Let me read Piers's response to that. It says, yes, you do. Just as I have every right to call it petty, unpatriotic, and shameful. Yesterday was a great day for America and the world and should have been treated as such. Piers is one of those people that I either really agree with or really disagree with. There's not much middle ground. It's not like sometimes like, okay, I can see what he's saying there. So either, God, you're an idiot, or yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And in this case, he's exactly right. Now, you guys, yeah, if you want to boo your president, by all means, do it. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't hurt me at all. And as long as you're just booing, I don't care. But Piers is right. He's absolutely right there. What else we got going on? I don't even know. I don't even know what else we have. Millennials are the loneliest generation, a survey shows, with 22% saying they have no friends at all. Isn't that sad? But my response to this when I read it was, have you met millennials? The 22% sounds low. And that's mean. It really is, because there's a lot of good millennials out there. And I love you guys. There's some watching right now who I absolutely love. You're great people, even when I disagree with you. But there's a lot of millennials out there who are fucking retarded. Window licking retards, man. The kind who scream because a president was elected that they didn't like. You guys remember that bitch? Just screaming like a child. We have a lot of millennials who never grew up, and they never will. Lowres says, I think a lot of that has to do with the internet too. A lot of people took that position on this article. I can actually throw the full article in here. I don't think I'm going to read it out loud, but I'll toss it into the chat for anybody who wants to read it. I forget where the study was done, blah, blah, blah. But not only does it show that they don't have friends, but they also show to be, was it 30% of them say they're lonely often or always. That's sad. That part is sad. I have trouble making fun of that. But, I mean, some of them are douchebags. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them, I wouldn't be friends with them. What the fuck is wrong with you? Millennials don't even like each other, apparently. Well, I think I blame parents. Like I do with so many things. I blame parents. Coming full circle then, did you ever get any parenting advice that turned out to be utter bullshit? So many parents these days turn out kids that are utterly insufferable, and I think bad advice is why. Sam, I don't know how much of it's advice. This is something George Carlin noticed. I think the special he did was back in 89. So it's been going on for a long time. But you've had these parents who, they didn't have kids. They had friends. And look, now that my children are older, we are definitely friends. They're still my children, but we're more friend. We talk about things, and when they're younger, when they're my children, there's stuff that how do I put this? They're there for my care. They're there for my development, for my guidance, and they still are, because they're my kids. But if you treat your child like a friend growing up the whole time, I mean, you had these moms who would dress like their kids and go out clubbing with them when the kids are like 16. And they had friends. They didn't have kids. And yeah, there's a real reluctance to discipline people. They don't spank them. It's not even just not spanking them. They had no standards for their children at all. I mean, I think that's how we got to the point now where you have people who honestly believe that we need to listen to children. Children are idiots. How do you get to the point where you think we need to listen to the kids? You've either never been a parent or you're a fucking moron. Or both. Sith Mail just said, holy shit, I realized I could be a grandfather. I was a grandfather by the time I was 40. Probably comes from the fact I was fucking long before I probably should have been, but hey. Whatever happened to boot camp for teens? Well, who would send them? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, man, if I fucked up in school, my mom, it would be hard to convince my mom the teacher did something wrong. Here, let me give you an example. My brother, my older brother, he got in trouble one time. Now, he'd kind of been an ass to this teacher before. And I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen. He'd been an ass to this teacher before. But the teacher assigned a bunch of books for them to do a report on. So my brother wrote a note asking the teacher if he could do it if he could do his report on a different book. He folded the note up and put it on the teacher's desk. He got called to the principal's office and suspended for threatening the teacher. So my brother comes home and tries explaining this to my mom, and she's like, there's no way you got suspended for asking if you could do a report on another book. So my mom goes to the school and she meets with the teacher and the principal. And it comes out, they never opened the note. They just assumed that my brother had written a threat to this teacher. And even after all of that, my brother still got in trouble at home for being disrespectful to the teacher. That's how it used to be, man. They would take an adult's word. Now these days it's like a child could shoot a teacher, and the mom would be on TV going, "My baby ain't do nothing." And I'm sorry, that came out a little more urban than I meant it, because I've seen this mostly with you little white fuckers. My little Brandon didn't do anything wrong. That bitch is just out to get him. Oh my God. Yeah, my brother got a 3-day suspension. They took it back, and the teacher had to apologize to him, which was funny as fuck. But yeah, he got suspended, a 3-day suspension for something he didn't even do. That was provable, that if they had just opened that fucking note, none of it would have happened. By the way, he was allowed to do the report on that other book. Yeah. But these days, man, these little kids, they don't do anything wrong, ever. Ever. How dare you try to discipline my son? Oh, fuck, man. If I was a teacher today, I'd quit. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'd quit. And that goes from preschool all the way up through college, man. Fuck these kids. And not fuck the kids, because kids need our guidance and our teachings. But the parents, man, fuck those parents. And Evolved Potato, that's a big part of it. Hashtag common sense, white women, reform, Potato, reform. I blame women. I do. And once again, this goes to the stuff that, again, it's part of what makes you guys so great, but it also makes it why you're horrible disciplinarians so often. You guys feel too much. You do. And sometimes you put your feelings over common sense. And that's, again, hashtag not all blah, 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 blah. But I mean, I don't know many dads who don't understand kids need um, a good case of act right now and then. And maybe they're getting just as bad. I don't know, but we got to do something with our kids and our adults because we're fucking up this society well. How the fuck did I get on this conversation? I don't even remember. Oh, millennials having no friends. Again, millennials. I didn't even get to what I wanted to talk about on that article. Maybe part of it is the internet. Maybe part of it is that we need more individual social interaction and to turn off kids' phones and force them to talk to each other and stuff. I think a big part of it is also stop drugging the shit out of your kids. Stop making excuses for your kids. I wonder how many of that 22%, and I'm not being mean here, but I wonder how many of that 22% has been diagnosed with autism. And not, no, Jake, I haven't got to the hashtag yet tonight. Because I've seen this with a lot of people. Their kids are shy. Like, oh, he's autistic. He's autistic. He's never going to get along with people. He's autistic. Like, is he, or is he just shy? Hey, Jack, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Better than yesterday, thank you.
Good. You sound better.
When I did Lords of the Night tonight, I was about how you heard me last time. Then about halfway through the game stream, suddenly I got my second wind. And that's the best I've felt. No, so after this, I'm going to bed, though.
You sound like shit on Lords.
Man, I was dying. I try my very best not to miss any of those, but I had to bail on Satsu on the game stream the night before, and I fucking hated myself for it. But
man, I'm sure he understood.
Oh, he does, and it's not him. It's not that anybody else puts this pressure on me. It's me. I know it. Everybody else is like, "Go lay your ass down." Like, shut up. You're not my real mom.
Well, this kind of is your job, and that makes it kind of like feel like an obligation.
Well, it's my job, and it's a job I love,
Yeah.
Look, if I felt like this with any other job I had, you could bet your sweet ass I was calling in. But this, I love my job, man. I love these people. These people are great. And I try to entertain them. And sorry about the last hour of last night. Jack saved it, but I was just dead. Oh, the end of that was so bad. Anyway, Jack, we're talking about the fact that millennials have no friends.
Yeah.
And I just asked this, Jack. I wonder how many of the 22% of millennials who said they have no friends were diagnosed with autism.
I'd be willing to bet it's a high number that are either misdiagnosed with autism or ADHD.
Probably. That would be, and again, this is my guess, but I've seen so many kids who just seem shy labeled as autistic.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I'm glad I grew up when I did, Jack, because I wonder what label would have been slapped on me these days. Because, I mean, in school, you'd have thought I was autistic because I didn't talk to many people. Certainly not in classroom settings, man. Time to go do a group project. Oh, God, please just kill me. You know what I mean? And then at home, I was certainly hyperactive. So time to drug the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how I would fare these days.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good because they love their labels.
Oh, yeah.
And this crap started back in the mid to late 90s. Mm-hmm. It's been going on for a while, but it's just been in high gear since then because we saw the rise. Started with ADHD around 98.
Yep.
When I worked mental health, and I was in college at the time when I started that job, and it really ramped up. They were starting to hammer us like, all right, well, you need to make sure that the kids are on meds and all this. No, they need to learn coping techniques if they really have these difficulties. But they didn't want to teach kids coping techniques because it's cheaper just to fill them full of drugs. And I think that's part of the problem, is a lot of these kids don't know how to interact socially because they were diagnosed as having something, so nobody ever bothered to teach them how to work in society. And we used to force people to do that.
Yep. Milkman says, I'm a couple minutes behind, but we love you, Monkey. I love you back. I love you back. I really do. I love these people, sincerely.
Well, they show up all the time.
They do.
And I like that. It's good to see familiar faces.
That's because we have friends, Jack. Because we're not millennials.
Yeah, because we're Gen X.
Maybe we just ran out of friends. We used them all up.
No, I think it really is like I said on Twitter, it's a lot of it's the moralizing, finger wagging. You know, if you're a nanny, nobody wants to be around you because you're constantly telling people how to live their lives.
Yep.
And I think that's a huge part of this. Plus, you've got a problem with people not knowing how to interact socially, because we really kind of encourage people not to do that. You know, oh, you don't want to play with that kid. Stuff like that. And plus the meds and all that. I think that's a large part of it is the judgmentalness plus the lack of social interaction and don't know how to pick up on nonverbal cues.
Well, that's another thing. I wonder if they were allowed to count online friends.
Does anyone really want to count that, though?
See, I've always said that online friends are no different than real life friends. And people are like, oh, but people can lie to you online. Do you know how many people lie to you in real life? Do you?
True.
How many times have we seen stories, man living double life has 2 families? He ain't meet them online. He wasn't having 2 families online. When you meet people, man, they can tell you whatever they want to. It's no different. That's why I've always had I have online friends. I do. And I have real life friends. I make that distinction only in the fact that means that I haven't met them personally, you know? Like Satsu. Satsu is one of my best friends. I love Satsu. Me and him talk all the time.
Yeah.
But I've never met him personally. I wouldn't say that's that makes him less of a friend. I actually probably talk to him more than any of my real life. I know I talk to him more than any of my real life friends. That's just how it is. Shit, Jack, how many hours have you and I spent talking off this stream?
Oh, man, tons.
Yeah, it's far more than I talk to anybody in my real life.
Yeah, plus I was in chat for ages since your first stream.
Yeah, indeed. Even pre-Sly, quote, it's just a tip. James, go sit in the corner. God damn you. Again, well played, but go sit in the corner. Monkey, you've lied all the time with your Christian Science monitor. You have no proof of that, sir. That is a damned internet lie.
What I like about the internet, friends, is if somebody has a really disturbing habit, like they pick their nose and wipe it on stuff, I don't need to see it.
Right, indeed. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Excuse me, people do. But I'll tell you this: there's people I talk to online that I stopped talking to because of the habits they have. Like, if you eat too much when I'm on a stream with you, we're not going to talk much more.
Yeah, mute yourself. It's not that hard. I mute myself when I'm eating. That's gross.
I don't like to hear people eat. I don't like to hear them blow their nose or cough and look, sometimes coughing happens, but there's some people it's like they don't even try to cover their mouth or anything. I don't even know.
They're probably alone in the room.
Yeah, but you're still on a mic with me.
Yeah.
Have some manners, goddammit.
I can understand if you accidentally do something, you sneeze uncontrollably a couple times or something.
Sure.
Where you thought you muted yourself. It happens occasionally, but there are people that make it a habit not to mute themselves.
Yes.
And that's gross.
And one of the worst ones for me is people fart on stream. That's nasty.
Yeah, mute yourself. You know it's coming.
Okay. Moving on, because that's about all I had to say about these friendless millennials.
Yeah, I mean, I find that very sad. I really do.
It really is. Go ahead.
No, I just it worries me that these people are in such a bad place that they can't make friends.
Hang on one moment. Polly says, chewing ice is not eating, it's drinking. You said it was fine, damn it. And I have never kicked you off my stream for chewing ice.
That's still kind of gross.
I might have muted him once. Well, he usually does it very muted, so it's not horrible. And I can deal with it. It's those people. It's the same thing if I saw them in real life and they were chewing like that. Like, oh, fucking break your neck. Stop it. This nasty couple I've told you about before at Walmart. I hate, if they were in the break room, I would find any reason to drag out how long it was before I went to lunch as possible. Because not only did they like kiss on each other and she thought farting was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, gross.
But they would both chew with their mouths open.
Yes. Yep. I had a roommate in college that did that, and it was the most disgusting thing. I kept hearing David Attenborough in the background going, and the wild chimpanzee sits there with its spaghetti.
Oh, this is one of those things, Mom. She drilled that into my head. You do not chew with your mouth open.
Yeah, because it's fucking disgusting. That's, what are we, an uncultured, uncivilized place? Come on.
We seem to be sometimes. Just don't say the wrong word. It's okay to sound nasty as hell, but don't say the wrong word. Speaking of which, there was a great Dave Chappelle moment today or yesterday. I don't know when this came through. Where'd that video go? He was asked about political correctness. I'm going to throw this into chat. And I'm going to be paraphrasing. You know, I think he got most of it. So I'll just read what's written in the tweet. Political correctness has its place, ... I personally am not afraid of other people's freedom of expression. And I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, et cetera, yada, 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 everything I'm supposed to say. I was like, oh, that is fucking awesome.
Well, he's got fuck you money. So.
Oh, he does. And if you watch this, it at the beginning of it, it sounds like he's giving a real answer until he gets the et cetera, yeah, whatever I'm supposed to say. It was beautiful. Beautiful moment, Dave. Well done, sir. Where was I? There was other stuff I want to read though, or address. Jack, did you see the case of this Asian kid who killed himself because of his girlfriend?
I don't think so.
This Asian chick.
Wait, is this the one that said do it? That'll show, encourage him to jump or something?
She encouraged him repeatedly to kill himself, and eventually he did. He jumped off of a parking garage. And I'm not getting into whether she's to blame or he's to blame, because I don't that's none of my fuck her. But this dude wrote this. Oh wow. Not trying to white knight here, but do they have any idea how many women this happens to? Thousands of women came through my treatment center who started self-medicating because of their abusive relationship. This is a kid who killed himself on graduation day. He was graduating from college and killed himself because of this whore. And this guy's answer to that is, but what about the women?
Do you really want to white knight for somebody that will not only not touch your penis, but probably kill you?
Right. But even taking that, okay, how many women, and I'm not sure, I don't know, but how many women have killed themselves because of their man? His thing is they start taking drugs. Okay. Do they jump off parking garages? Because that's a little bit different. And look, Yeah, it sucks if she's in an abusive relationship and she starts taking drugs to deal with it and has to get clean because of that. Yeah, it's a horrible situation. You know what's worse? Being splattered. But this motherfucker comes in with women most affected. Man kills himself. Women most affected. Good night, Prospero. Have a good one, sweetheart.
Night, Prospero.
I read that and man, my brain just went, the fuck? I don't even get, if you want to make the case, that women are affected by, bad relationships, fine, make that case. Don't do it on the back of somebody who jumped off a goddamn parking garage because his girlfriend kept telling him to do it. I feel like you shouldn't need to be told that.
Yeah. I think we've really minimized the value of life.
Well, of course we have. Well, especially
not just around Planned Parenthoods, but
well, we're really minimizing the value of male life.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that for a little while now, but
well, male life has always had, you guys aren't going to like this, it's just true, but male life has always had less value than female life. And there's biological reasons for that.
Yeah, we don't have offspring.
Yeah. You can have one guy knock up 100 women, but each woman can only be pregnant for so long.
Can you imagine how much
bigger and stronger? So you send them out to fight the lions and the encouraging the people coming in, the hordes. You send the men out to do that kind of stuff. Women and children first, because that's how you keep society going, is by protecting the women and the children.
Yep.
So men have always had less value when it comes. Men are disposable. Exactly, Ryan. And that's not a bad. It's biology. When I have to pay the period tax. Welcome to biology. I have to sign up for the draft. You want to trade?
they think they do, but they don't.
Right. They did right up until that almost happened, and then they all lost their shit. Because women almost had to sign up for the draft not long ago. It was almost law, and then a bunch of women went, "Wait a minute." Yeah, I didn't think that. We haven't had a draft since the 70s, but man, did they get fucking scared of that one.
Yeah, especially because then they'd be under Trump's authority.
Yeah.
Part of basic is I get to grab your pussy.
Well, that's what happens instead of haircuts now.
Yeah.
Trump just grabs your pussy.
And that's how you check bush size. So they have to shave if he doesn't like it.
Indeed.
Sorry, that my sinuses are still clogged up, so I'm a little off.
Did you just wake up? You sound a little tired.
I've been up for about 15 minutes, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm tired, and since my sinuses are acting up, when I'm laying down, it kind of all congeals in one area.
I get you. I've been there.
That was gross, but it's true.
The last thing that I actually had on my topics of things, and this is one that, again, I talked about it last night, but we're going through my humpetry, so there you go. Woman wrote, "No offense, but if someone's excited about something and you make them feel stupid for being excited about it, you're the worst type of person." And I get it. It's hyperbolic. But we really need to dial back the hyperbole. For instance, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, who are excited for the new Star Wars. You're morons. You just are. And if me saying you're a moron ruins that for you, well, then you're even a bigger moron. Because why the fuck do you care that much about my opinion?
And you're probably a little bit of a pussy.
Indeed.
This is why you don't have friends, millennials.
Yeah, well, I think them being pussies is a big part of it.
I do too, because being in a friendship means that you're going to disagree occasionally, and there's a give and take, like any relationship. And not being able to tolerate.
She isn't. Yeah. You're the worst. She's the worst kind of person.
She is. She should be excited for everything you're excited for.
The worst kind of person. I can think of probably 100 people worse than somebody who's just a killjoy.
Oh yeah, Mao Zedong, Stalin, Brezhnev,
Hitler?
Yeah, Hitler. I bet he was a real killjoy. Goebbels. Yeah, the list goes on. I mean, I'm sure Genghis Khan was a real bitch. I'm sure.
That's just because he was raining on people's parade.
Yeah, Vlad Tepes. If you were Turkish, he didn't want you having any fun.
These people are so over dramatic these days. You're the worst kind of person if you made me not be excited about something I was excited about.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And because they're such drama whores, no one wants to be around them. I don't want to be around people that are that hyperbolic. I mean, we joke around a lot on here.
Sure.
Holy shit. If you have to put up with this on a regular basis, maybe you'll be like that Asian dude and try and jump off a bridge.
I just don't understand. You goddamn pussies, man. Nuts, thank you so much for dropping our Streamlabs link into the chat there. Guys, remember, we're brought to you by you. So if you'd like to support us, there's the like button and the share button. But you can also toss shekels this way. Is shekels, is that the wrong thing to say?
No, it's a legitimate form of currency.
Yeah, you guys can toss pesos my way. I'm not picky.
Yeah, all the money converts. Thanks, PayPal.
Yeah, exactly. So shekels, loonies. What else is out there? Pence. Are pence still a thing?
I don't know. Pounds. Yeah, pence. Yuan, yen. Doesn't matter.
But yeah, if you'd like to support us, that's a great way to do it. Sorry, man. I am winding down quick.
That's all right. I have a topic I would like to address, if you don't mind.
Please.
Okay, so that guy that blew himself up with his kids.
Al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, piece of garbage number 8.
Yes.
So, first of all, that guy was like 48 years old. Didn't he look like he was like 60?
He did. You guys got to stop wearing big beards. It makes y'all look older.
Well, it's the beard and living out in the desert for that long. He had that like that variation of people that tan way too much. You know, he didn't have the purple hue, but he had all the wrinkles and like the I'm super old look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So bad on him for that one. Like get some moisturizer in your life or something. I don't know. Do something to not look so old.
Well, he was trying. He was living in a cave.
Yeah, and what is the obsession with caves? Like, you guys don't have doomsday bunkers where you live?
Well, they think if they go into a cave, we won't go after them.
Yeah, like, oh, there's probably a bear in there. Let's wait outside. What you think? We don't believe in manticores, dude. We know that it's just a cave.
I love that a dog tracked or cornered him.
Yes, because dogs are unclean.
I think that is cool as fuck, man.
Even better, I can top that because I found out the dog's name is Conan.
I know, right?
And what are the rules for what's best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. That dog hit all 3.
Right. Did you hear the people whining because Trump said that Baghdadi died crying and screaming, and there's people who've been trying to verify that.
Oh, that's so stupid. I heard that and I was like, you guys have way too much free time. First of all, it's hyperbolic on purpose. And second of all, it's also propaganda because it makes him sound weak. He was running away crying from a scary doggy, and it was an American dog on top of that. Well, it was a Belgian whatever type of dog, but it was one of our forces. So he was afraid of a dog and it made him look cowardly. That was the intention of saying something like that.
No, but they're all like, he wasn't really like that, right? He He died all stoic, didn't he? Come on, be honest.
No, he was running away from a dog, which I understand dogs are scary sometimes, but the guy ran away and killed 3 of his own kids.
Evil One asked, did the dog live? Yes, he did.
Yeah, he got injured, but he's okay because the blast did knock the dog back, but he's fine.
Danger says you guys don't understand. They don't want to make the ISIS leader look bad in front of all his friends. I know, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the media is doing, and it's scary that they're standing up for that big of a scumbag.
I know, isn't it? It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah. No, we need to make sure he looked stoic when he died, because that will teach the terrorists. I don't understand our press. The way our press has responded to this al-Baghdadi killing is just insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really stupid. Fact checking him on something that's clearly a propaganda talking point is stupid. Like, they know what he's doing. They just want anything they can to make him look bad, and it makes them look sad and desperate.
Yeah, it actually makes it look like they're standing up for the terrorist.
Oh, they totally are. I mean, you saw that obituary headline.
Yeah, the Washington Post, yeah. And then we talked about this earlier, Jack. They spent all day yesterday trying to make Trump look bad for killing this guy, to make it look like Trump somehow did something wrong.
Yeah,
including trying to prove that the picture from when they were watching the actual death was faked. It was staged.
So stupid. You know what? I bet these guys had cameras on. They probably have the whole thing filmed.
Oh, they did.
So
Trump said they were watching it. It was live.
Yeah,
so
they probably had it on CCTV because they all had little units on.
Yeah, so there's
their helmets.
A recording of it somewhere.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Release it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Trump's good at that sort of thing. Just release the whole thing.
Yeah, let us see what happened. You guys want to act all bitchy about it.
And it would be super funny if that guy is yelling as he's running away from the dog, so it sounds like he's whimpering and crying.
You know he was. He's running from a dog.
Yeah. Although I think it would have been funnier if the dog's name was Bacon.
That would have been awesome.
Because I think all our troops should have a little can of lard that they could use like camouflage, and then nobody will ever take one hostage.
It was live. They criticized Trump because he said it was like watching a movie. Yeah.
Oh, well, Mr. Dax has a good one. Add the Benny Hill soundtrack.
No, there's this some guy, I forget his name. I have it over on my Twitter. But he was a photographer for Obama, and even ex photographers for the White House are dicks.
That was a shock.
He's got it in for Trump real hard. He's got a hard on for him, and he came out to prove that picture was fake because he got the timeline wrong. Because he said that the raid supposedly happened at 3:30. Trump was playing golf until 3:33. So the raid started at 3:30. So Trump couldn't have possibly watched it. That's the big implication there. But the timestamp on the video or the picture itself is 17:05. So 5:05 in the evening. But then it came out that the raid actually started at about 6:10. So what we saw there in that picture from Trump is them waiting for it to happen. And the dick, he admitted it, but he never took down his lie of a real post. The post that started it all, that has like 14,000 likes on it, that's still up. Yes, low res boy, the timeline is absolutely true. But this guy, man, he was the Obama photographer. I actually saw several stories yesterday afternoon before it came out that he got the time wrong about Obama's ex-photographer proves Trump's photo was staged.
That doesn't prove anything. Some asshole had an opinion. That's not proof. He's a
Well,
photographer. What's that got to do with anything? And
look, he
half
hates
those
Trump.
photos, yeah, big deal. I
He
mean,
hates Trump. That's all that matters.
apparently.
It's more likely they passed footage up the chain of command than that Trump watched it live. By all accounts, it was very much like the Bin Laden raid. They were watching it live.
Yeah, they can network all that shit in their little war rooms and whatnot.
Yeah, they. He watched it. I mean, he described it. I don't know that he's. I don't know that his account was real. I didn't see it, but I like to think that this little shitbag who went out like a coward was. Why wouldn't he be sniveling?
Yeah. I mean, he was a petty dictator. He got what he deserved. I don't care if Trump badmouths him. The
Me
guy was
neither.
an evil piece of shit.
But
As
Jack,
far as I'm concerned, Trump can start spreading the rumor that Hitler was a cross-dresser who liked to touch himself to kid pictures. I don't care. History should not remember these people with any kind of positive light. They're butchers, rapists, and monsters in every respect. There was nothing good about this person.
no.
What did he do that added anything to civilization? Was it when he was destroying artifacts? Was it when he kept that American girl hostage and had her repeatedly raped? Was it when he set the Jordanian pilot on fire while he was alive? Tell me, Washington Post, what are you standing up for here?
I mentioned this earlier, so those of you who are here, you get to hear it again. The Washington Post claimed that obituary headline never should have happened. You're right, but it did. What the fuck does that say about your news organization?
It reveals a lot about their oversight, their editorial, and what their staff members think. Not only of Trump, but of the country at large. That they would side with one of the most evil people alive on the planet, now dead, over getting a few points jab at Trump. That's fucked up.
It really is. And did they fire the person who wrote that? The editors who allowed it?
No, they probably all got a bonus.
I mean, they still got to put it out there before their. I love that. We quickly fixed it. Yeah, when other people told you how fucked up it was.
Yeah,
not,
even lefties were saying, dude, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah. It's not like somebody in their editorial room before it went to print went, oh, no, that's wrong. You got to fix that. They were all like, yeah, that looks good to me.
Yeah, that's messed up.
The idea or the fact that this was allowed to happen the way it does, that's not a mistake.
No, this is why you can't trust the mainstream media.
Yeah. That wasn't a mistake. That was on purpose. And don't tell me that the way that came out, that you guys didn't, that nobody saw it except for what, the writer? Is that what happened? You know what you guys did. And then to pronounce, oh, shit. Oops. Dumbasses.
Well, if they're making big lies like that, what are the little ones that they're getting away with? You have to question everything these days because they're so blatant about their attempts at deception that the subtle ones are going to sneak through. Like CNN's been caught staging stuff. How many times have they done that we didn't see them get caught?
And that's why it amuses me so much, the Russian story. The Russians are in, they tried to influence our election. And you don't. And look, I get it. Yeah, we don't want foreign influence, but you guys are a bunch of dirty shitbags. And
yeah,
you have far more influence on us than anything the Russians may have said in a couple of Facebook posts.
Yeah, they manipulate search results. They filter the news. When was the last time you heard Trump do anything good? I don't care if it was like giving a Boy Scout an award. They don't cover that stuff. Or they manipulate it to look like he murdered some poor Islamic scholar.
Good night, Nuts. Thank you so much for pimping us out, sweetheart. I hope you have a good night. Sorry, I was reading chat there trying to figure out what was going on. But this al-Baghdadi thing, I mean, I don't know if you noticed yesterday, Jack, most of the major headlines were about Trump getting booed at the World Series. The Baghdadi stuff, it was either trying to make it seem like Trump did something wrong here by saying he cried and whimpered, or just sucking it up, making. There was actually one person who said that he wasn't a coward for blowing himself up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Again, what they said was it should not have read that way. They blame people for how they interpreted it. Also, that was the second of 3 headlines.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your fault because we're a bunch of disingenuous scumbags that hate America.
Yeah.
I understand criticizing the president when he does something that's questionable or unethical or something like that. That's legitimate. But to go out of the way to make a barbaric savage look like a saintly scholar because to own the president is pretty messed up.
Well, I mean, we know our press. I mean,
yeah, but this is what they send out to other people. This is what other cultures are going to see, and they're not immersed in it enough to understand that our press are a bunch of deep state operatives at this point.
Yeah, the exact wording was regarding our al-Baghdadi obituary. The headline should never have been read that way, and we changed it quickly. Yes, when you guys were told how fucked up it was, which it originally said Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar at helm of Islamic State, dies at 48. But you know, this goes back a long way. Because it's not just, I mean, don't get me wrong, part of this is Trump, but do you remember how much our press just absolutely worshipped Yasser Arafat?
Yeah.
They fucking loved that guy. He was a fucking terrorist. But I mean, oh no, Arafat, he was a great guy.
Well, they like to conflate terrorist and freedom fighter. And they're absolutely not the same thing, because terrorists target civilians as well as government officials. Freedom fighters just target the government. There's a big difference. Plus, usually freedom fighters are fighting to not be oppressed. There are distinct differences, but they conflate the two as if they're the exact same thing. So they will embrace these total monsters.
I want to read this. It's going to change the subject a little bit. It just made me laugh. Quippers United, Jack sent this in. Oh, Jagamage, thank you so much. Mother Nature is trying to abort California. Yeah, we can get to that in a minute too. Thank you so much for the donation. Norm McDonald tweeted out, a young comic, Belly Catchman, got 100,000 Twitter followers when she bravely attacked Harvey Weinstein at a comedy event the disgraced animal attended. It's a damn shame that females still feel they have to rely on Harvey Weinstein to get ahead in this business.
Wow.
Oh, fucking Norm. Look, I was never a big fan of him on Saturday Night Live, but since then, oh my God, that dude makes me laugh.
I had a friend around the time when he was on Saturday Night Live who talked with the same cadence and kind of the same mannerisms.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude was hilarious. So I liked Norm McDonald at the time, mostly because he reminded me of my buddy.
And maybe it wasn't his fault, but I'm a Dennis Miller fan, and he took the helm from Miller, and he just wasn't Dennis.
Yeah, two very different types of comedy.
But yeah, I love, like, when Norm is there is nothing funnier than when Norm McDonald is being interviewed, because you literally never know what that motherfucker is going to say. And he will set up these things, and you don't know where the fuck it's going. And then it just comes out like the most horrible, crude thing ever. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I think we all know why I like him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mother Nature's trying to abort California. We have those fires going on out there. And, Ocasio-Cortez came out yesterday and told us we have 10 years to fix this, or this could look like this all over.
No, this happens every fucking year. They don't make brake lines. They don't have fire roads. They won't do controlled burns. This happens all the time. And
Well,
like 2 years ago, the fires hit Malibu and burned down a bunch of celebrities' houses because Miley Cyrus lost her house in that. And that was big, big news because she's a massive celebrity. Of course, this happens all the time. You guys don't do anything to prevent it.
Dangerous Spaces says, so 12 years was a joke, but 10 years is super serial, y'all. Thank you, Circus Zero. Firefighters fight fires. Crime fighters fight crime. So what do freedom fighters fight? Exactly.
Like Evil One said,
the
they
donation.
also build the fire zones. Sorry.
No, I stepped on you there. I was just thanking him for the donation. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that. Last year, Donald Trump had the balls to come out and suggest maybe California is partly to blame for this and not global warming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a whole bunch of people lost their shit. And then quietly, very certain news organizations went, by the way, Trump is right. They'd put him way below the fold, like on page 50 of their rags. But they trumped it up so, pardon the expression, trumped it up so much. Trump says it's not global warming. It's these people not doing things right. It is. That's exactly what it is. I saw a thing, was it today? Talking about how the worst fires out there during droughts. And then they pointed out that a drought had ended before the 2017 fires. And it had been over for several months, but it wasn't quite enough to stop that fire. Like, feels like your timelines aren't lining up there.
Yeah.
No, the problem with California is how they deal with their forestry. They don't take care of it the way you need to if you actually want to control this shit.
Yeah, they've actually got regulations against doing what you need to do.
Yes.
To prevent this. It's been known for a long time among the forestry management crews that they don't do what they need to do, because in other states that they don't have these problems because they do a lot of stuff. They have brake lines for the fire. They have the fire access roads. California doesn't do that shit anymore. They haven't done it since like the 60s.
Dangerous says, David Hogg's sister said you can't fight fire by setting fires. We call it backburning here in Australia, but yes, you can fight fires that way. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And that's what the Forestry Service says needs done.
Yeah, you have to have some controlled burns to keep it from flaring up as massively as these do. These fires wouldn't be anywhere near that level if they would get rid of a lot of the brush that way.
No, man, it's because we oh God, I saw, speaking of global warming, streaming services are now partially responsible for global warming. And that's what's going on in California, man. Too many people streaming. It's causing global warming that's making fires. The amount of energy used for streaming services it's causing a problem, Jack.
Oh, God. That's such a cult.
I forget the exact number. I want to say it was like, they said 0.3% of carbon dioxide going into the air is because of streaming services. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Fuck right off.
Oh my God. Why don't you just blame porn? Because when people are whacking off, they breathe more.
It's just so fucking stupid, man. But yeah, California's problem is California. And
yeah,
it's not just with fires. It's with so much of what they do. So much of their problem. Why is there shit all over the streets in their major cities?
Yeah, literal shit. Like, if you want to step on syringes because you have a weird fetish and step on poop, that's on you.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, who said, we had a horde of pine beetles move in and kill a lot of trees. The hippies didn't want to deforest those trees, so it's a huge fire risk here. Thank you so much, Johnny. And yeah, I mean, there's certain things that, and I don't claim to be an expert here. I've read about it several times, but there's certain things that need to be done. Like you said, you do fire breaks. And if you guys don't know what that means, that's where you clear the trees. You just absolutely clear them between sections of trees so that if a fire does break out, it doesn't get over to the next section.
Yeah, you're literally drawing a line in the sand.
Controlled burns are usually it's not even so much of getting rid of the trees, it's getting rid of all the brush around them because so much of that shit builds up.
Yeah, and it's just fuel.
It's tinder.
And there are constant droughts and weather fluctuations in California. That's been there since the dawn of time, as long as it's been this temperature.
Yep.
And you have to be aware of that. You get too much brush sitting in one spot, and it's getting hot, and eventually some pine needles or some leaves or something get under there. Yeah, you're going to have a fire.
Ryan says we do controlled burns all the time in Florida. Well, again, you got to remember, this was my point with the whole Trump thing last year. Trump pointed this out, and the media lost their shit before quietly saying he was right. But do you know how much attention those "he's right" tweets got?
None.
Those didn't get the national headline. Rachel Maddow wasn't talking about that. Eagle says done here in Michigan too. Yeah, any responsible state is doing controlled burns.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a lot of woods in like West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. It's a very heavily wooded area, and we don't have these kind of problems because we have fire roads, we have controlled burns, we have forest management.
Well, this idea that the drought is the problem, like if only the ground were a little more moist, the trees wouldn't burn down. It's not how it works, fucker. That fire quickly dries out those woods. We are talking about temperatures that will melt your ass. They can melt. It could melt steel beams, Jack.
Well, definitely weaken the structure enough for them to collapse. It's like the jet fuel of nature.
It's not that these trees are just that dry. For fuck's sake, you idiots.
Well, I think that really comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of how fire works and how fire spreads. I mean, the 3 weeks in Boy Scouts would have taught these people what they need to know in order to stop this stuff. Because we actually did these things. Like, we helped go collect brush. We helped clear up fire breaks, that sort of thing when I was in Boy Scouts. That was part of the projects.
Well, with California, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I know there for a while, wasn't there even a problem or a thing where you weren't allowed to go in and clean up brush?
Yeah, because you're disturbing nature.
Yeah, disturbing the habitats there. And like, are you for real? We're talking about fire problems, you assholes. And look, I understand that it's not fun to be without power, but those people California is still without power in some places. There's a raging fucking fire, you morons.
Yeah, these people are the worst kind of cultists because they're more concerned about Mother Gaia than they are about the people peeing on her.
It's just absolutely annoying. You smother fire with old newspapers and douse it with gasoline, right? Yes, Dangerous. In California, that's how you do it. And then you bitch that you're not getting enough money from the federal government to fight your goddamn stupidity.
And if you're an Aboriginal, you huff the gas fumes and go lay down in the street. Is that too far? I feel like there's a PSA in there somewhere.
It took me a second to get what you said there. Because I just saw another story we also have to touch on.
Oh man, we're already touching on like the stupid press and the stupid Californians. Not all, of course. If you're reasonably intelligent, get out of California. Just save yourself, okay?
Well,
let it fall in the ocean.
The next one, oddly enough, is also kind of centered around California and the stupid press. Nancy Pelosi has decided we're gonna have an impeachment vote. Not the vote to impeach, but to start official impeachment proceedings. Because hang on, I need to make sure my Steam is off. Is this downloading? No, okay. Anyway, where are we? The Republicans have given her so much shit, and the president is bitched enough about due process that she's like, fine, fuck it, we'll have the vote. And what this will do is actually give a coherent structure to the impeachment process, because right now it's just been assigned to a couple of, let's see, it's the Intelligence Committee, the Judiciary, I think, and I forget what the third one was, but it's been handed off to a couple of committees for them to investigate. And mostly we've just seen Schiff's committee, the Intelligence Committee, having their behind the scenes, behind closed doors meetings, because apparently it's really, really important that we not hear the the horrible things our president did. But she's finally going to have the vote so we can have the real impeachment inquiry, and they're going to have to lay down the actual rules for it. They're going to have to decide what is going to be allowed to be seen by the public. All of it, cunt.
No, they're going to keep a lot of this secret because they can, which is
course.
so East German.
Well, it's going to be funny to see Democrats argue that we have to do this in secret.
Of course they are, because they don't want to look bad again. They don't want to look as stupid as Mueller made them look.
President Trump and his Republican defenders may come to regret that Nancy Pelosi gave them what they wished for, putting the House on record for the first time on impeachment through the Speaker's call for a vote by the whole chamber on procedures. Is highly symbolic step that will change the entire Republican critique of the impeachment process. More crucially, such a vote could make it more difficult for the GOP to dodge the substance of the Ukraine scandal and the issues on which impeachment will turn. Did Trump abuse his power? If that's what it is, and see, this is why I said it's the press and Nancy Pelosi, or California, because she's from there, guys. If this was as bad as it supposedly is, I don't understand why they would do it in secret. It makes no sense, because the way you win an impeachment is not necessarily, the voting in the House. That's how you get it passed. But this is a very political process. It's political, and you have to get your side to agree with you more than the other side agrees with them. This idea that, the Republicans are going to come to regret this. Maybe they will. But I think the idea that getting this out in the public instead of hidden behind closed doors, where only Schiff gets to tell us what actually, I'm sorry, unnamed sources get to tell us what's happening. Did you see Trump say that he didn't tell Schiff about the raid because he's a leaker?
Yeah, he's the biggest. I think he's the big. He even said, "I think," just to qualify it. I think he's the biggest leaker in Washington.
Yeah, well, we know he is. It's not even a guess anymore.
Yeah, they are really trying hard to get Trump reelected.
Yeah, I think they are.
This constant targeting of him over such petty nonsense. They know this isn't going to make it to the Senate. If it did, it would be some kind of evil miracle for them. But it's all for pomp and circumstance because all their candidates suck.
I've said this for a while, that their best chance to win the election is to take out Trump entirely.
Yeah.
I don't see right now how any of their candidates stand up to Trump. I just don't. We saw Kamala Harris come out yesterday, I think is when the video's from, and tell us that basically she's not getting more support because she's a black woman. And she's going to be more vocal about that on the campaign trail, y'all.
Oh, yeah. So, now she's not going to shut up about it. Great.
Yeah. So if you guys don't vote for Kamala, it's because you're racist, sexist. So stop being racist, sexist, and vote for Kamala. I just she hasn't sucked my dick like she did Willie's, so I don't know if she's qualified. I'm not going to take his word for it, you know.
Man,
He seemed to enjoy it, but you know, I wasn't there. I didn't get to feel it. I don't know if she's qualified for higher office. But
you know, there's a perfect opportunity to let Trump work that into a speech somewhere. Like, look, I know you what you had to do for Willie Brown, but I really don't need an intern right now.
right. There's right now, I just don't see any of them that can stand up to Trump. Their leading candidate is fucking Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I don't see how Biden's going to make it through. I think he's probably going to end up being forced to drop out. He's just too doddering, and he's a gaffe machine. Unless Hillary jumps in, this is Warren's, in my opinion.
Right now, I agree with you. And again, guys, that could change. I could say something completely different in a month, but
Yeah,
based on what we see now,
yeah,
this
as
is
it
Warren's.
looks. Yeah, sorry.
Well, Warren's first and only battle with Trump led to her admitting he was right on accident.
Yeah, she is very terrible in a debate. She has her pre-planned talking points, and she can't improvise. All he does is improvise. He is great on his feet.
He tricked her into admitting she's not an Indian.
Yeah. Then she got a DNA test.
She didn't have to do that, but just because he had said he is going to be able to just roll right over her.
Yeah, it'll just be like wrong, fake Indian.
Right.
Which, you know, that's a legitimate point of attack because of the intersectionality stuff. So he's going to hammer that home, and no one else is hitting her on that because that's an evil right-wing talking point. None of these people are prepared for a real debate.
Oh, they're not. They're not. They're trying to fight Trump right now when he's not on stage with them, rather than going after each other. And there's a real reason you have a primary process. It's trial by fire.
Yeah. You need to know who can take it and who can dish it out. And right now, the only person I'm seeing doing that is the ones that are trailing. You know, Yang, Buttigieg, and Tulsi are the only ones that even have had any kind of resistance thrown at them and managed to push back. And they're all way low in the numbers, which I think a lot of that's rigged anyway.
So do I, but I don't understand why they're pushing Warren so hard. And
she's got all the free stuff lined up.
If everything goes like it is right now, Warren and Biden will be in it 1 and 2 for the first few primaries. And then at some point after that, Biden or Bernie's going to have to drop out. And when he does, Warren's going to shoot right to the top.
Yeah, she'll get all Bernie's people. I really am worried that Bernie's going to die because he did have a heart attack. And at his age, that's not good. Even though he got some stints put in, that's great. But if he doesn't dial it back and drop out, he legitimately could die on the campaign trail.
Flowers asked, didn't Trump call Warren Pocahontas? Yep, he did. And that was racist. No, it's not. It's a joke at her, being racist.
Yeah, and Pocahontas was a real Indian. You can't say so like, oh, calling somebody Thor is racist against the Norse. No, that's stupid.
I don't think any of them have. I would love to see Warren and him up on a stage, and while she's talking, him just go, Yeah,
I'm telling you, he needs to come out in a full headdress with that playing, like a Looney Tunes character. Oh, that'd be so awesome! And just never mention it while you're talking. Never address it. If she asks about it, never talk about it. Be like, look, we're here to talk about some issues.
Yeah, pretend he's not even wearing it. Like what? But again, if he goes against Biden, Biden's a doddering old fool right now, man.
Yeah, he looks terrible. And do you really want that guy in charge of the button when he can't articulate a simple thought on the stage?
Bernie or Biden or Bernie is an old dude who just had a heart attack, who's basically Warren himself.
Yeah.
Who's next after that? Buttigieg looks like he's 10. Nobody's going to vote for that guy. Then Camel Toe. I mean, she's just turning into angrier and angrier Hillary every day. We've already told Hillary no twice. We don't need, just because she got a tan. No.
No, the people didn't tell her no, monkey. She's supposed to have won.
Right. Who else we got? I saw Cory Booker today talking about what it's going to take to be the next president. I'm like, not you, man. You've blown it at every possible turn. Julian Castro. Nobody even cares you're running, dude.
Yeah, some of these guys are running for a cabinet position.
Yep.
You know, it's all a form of like expensive virtue signaling to get themselves a better job. And I understand that, but you're wasting people's time.
Low Res Boy says, and Yang. Look, I don't hate Yang. But I think this is a vanity campaign for him. I really do.
I respect him in that he will go and talk to oppositional media.
Yeah.
And I respect that because a lot of people won't. And he's even said you need to talk to people that you disagree with because you got to win over all the voters.
Yep.
You need to, it's sort of like running a retail store. You need to get everybody's money and everybody to come in and like you. You don't have to like them back. They don't actually have to like you, but they have to, at least in some level, respect you and know that you'll listen to them.
Low Res Boy says, I think his economical approach is short-sighted and dangerous. If you're talking about Yang, he's actually the most far-sighted right now. If automation keeps going the way it is, at some point we're not going to have enough jobs for all the people. That's just fact. I don't think we're even close to that yet. But I mean, we're getting to the point where we're going to have 18-wheelers with no driver. That's a lot of people out of work. Walmart, I saw a story just the other day that Walmart and Target are taking different views on how to use automation. And they actually had a robot in a Walmart scanning shit. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to the point where it's cheaper to get the machines in there than it is to hire somebody for $15 an hour.
Yes.
You have all the liabilities and taxes and all that other stuff that comes with actually having an employee, plus training, and you don't know if they're going to flake on you. But the machines and automation are getting cheaper and cheaper. And at some point, it's just cost effective to not have that person there. California is finding that out.
Why didn't I see him? Bear, where you at? Somebody just said that he should join the stream. I'll send you the link, man. I didn't know you were here. Cryptic, thank you. Yang is a commie. If he's sensible, God help us. I agree he's a commie, but this is another one of those places on paper. But this part of the debate actually does make sense. And this is very long term. I don't think this is something we need now, like Yang seems to. But if we get to a place where robots are doing everything, what are you going to do? Low Res said jobs will be more intellectual. But what? Programming them?
There'll still be repairmen and stuff like that are needed, one or two actual people, but it's going to be a lot harder for undereducated people or no talent, people with low skill level, entry level jobs to be almost non-existent. And I'm one of those people. I don't have a lot of job skills that are going to get me high paying jobs. So yeah, I can recognize that a lot of jobs that I would probably be able to actually get without a lot of difficulty are drying up fast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially out west. It's way worse out there than it is here in the Midwest.
But, and again, we may get to a point where a universal basic income is required. I've seen the arguments for it, and they're not horrible arguments. This isn't the argument that people shouldn't have to work. It's like there's going to be no jobs. That's different. That's a whole different argument.
And people are going to have to learn to diversify their talent pool.
Yes.
I mean, like, we're on here, we ask for donations. Nobody's required to give us anything, but those donations really go a long way toward helping. And this type of thing can become someone's job. I mean, Bear did it for a while. You do it. A lot of people do things like YouTube for income.
Yeah.
And that's the type of work you can do and don't have to rely on being a grill operator at McDonald's or something like that. So there will be other industries that people can go to, but you have to be able to innovate. A lot of people can't do that sort of thing. They don't know how to do stuff like this, or they can't, or it's just not their thing or whatever. So a universal basic income at some point will likely become a reality.
Faithless says the economy will change to suit. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it depends how bad they regulate everything and screw it up.
Danger says robots are already running social media. Just look at Zuckerberg. All right. Fair point.
Not to mention all those Russian bots.
Bear says robots can't replace my role. Robots can suck my ass. And you're right. There will still be jobs that have to be done by humans. There just will.
Yeah.
But for the people like, well, the economy will change. Okay. Imagine if Walmart went completely robotic. And yeah, that's not necessarily a reality, but they could get very close with certain technologies. Let's just say 90%. That's 900,000 people that are forced back into looking for a job.
Yeah,
it's a big ass number, ain't it?
Yeah, the number of people will overwhelm certain areas, and you'll have places just kind of collapse because there's a lot of other industries that rely on that workforce.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think this is something in our immediate future the way that Yang does. I just don't think Yang is a horrible person for suggesting this, and that it might be coming. This is something economists have been talking about for a while. I don't think it's coming as fast as he does. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, we're talking easily a decade out.
At least,
it's a problem.
Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, man. A couple of hiccups there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to bed. Good night, y'all. Good night, Sith Mail. Have a good one.
Night, Sith.
If Walmart were to do that, they would be slitting their own throats. Would they? I mean, they've already, the Walmart that I started working at, which was already a vast change from when Sam was running the place, has changed drastically since then.
Yeah, self-checkouts. Yeah, they're all over the place now.
Oh, man, there was a great picture on Twitter. I don't know if I saved. Oh, I know I didn't. It was sent to me, but I didn't remark on it, so I don't know if I can find it real fast. But it was it's a Walmart picture where it says Walmart cares about jobs or some shit like that.
Yeah, I was right next to the U-scan.
Yeah, it was right over them.
Yeah, that was one of the audience members sent that in.
Cryptic, thank you so much. I automate jobs due to labor laws. Whoop, God damn it, I missed it. Hang on, bud. Give me 1 second. Thank you so much for the donation. I automate jobs due to labor laws, mandatory wages. I don't understand. What do you mean you automate jobs? Oh man, fuck.
Yeah, I do look forward to Black Friday with an entirely robotic staff at Walmart, because they will have a Black Friday mode where they have like suppression systems.
Yeah.
And it'd be like limit one customer and somebody will grab two, and then the sonic wave will hit them and they'll be shot with like spray foam or something. It'll be great.
You know what they'll do is they'll spray them with soap and water.
Oh, Oh, the arch enemy of many a Walmart shopper.
Indeed. Man, I saw a few Black Friday fights in my time. The weirdest one I saw, Jack, was two grown ass men fighting over a comforter.
Oh, that's just sad.
I'm like, it's not even a TV, guys. Come on.
Yeah, like you could get those comforters like anywhere, right?
Well, the best part is we didn't even sell out of them.
Of course not.
And one of my manager, she was in charge of watching that spot that day, and she actually ended up getting hurt in that. She got her finger bent or thumb bent way back.
Oof.
Yeah, like you should have just stepped aside and let him go to it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get involved. You don't get paid for that.
No shit.
That's what the cops are for.
It is weird to see. Have you ever been on a Black Friday when everything opens?
Yeah, I worked a few over the years, but
Oh my God, they're crazy.
so it's not worth it to me. I'd rather pay a few extra dollars and not have to deal with that nonsense.
Well, there are things. Oh, Cryptic, thank you so much again. Let me get over here so I can see it. Bring it up, damn it. There we are. I am the asshole who automate work for certain jobs. Oh, okay. So you're the reason we have Andrew Yang. Good job. Good job.
Well, I'm glad you have a job, Cryptic.
I'm glad you have a job, but way to bring us Yang. Actually, I kind of like Yang, at least as a person. I don't agree with his politics, but he seems like a nice guy. I wouldn't have a problem hanging out with the guy.
Yeah.
But again, it still seems like a vanity campaign. I got to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with that. He's making some good points and getting a couple jabs in, and he's making people think about their positions a little more. Whatever, I don't care. I think a lot of his politics are complete trash. But if he wants to run for president, cool. Vernon Supreme does it every year, so
Right.
And I'll vote for that guy over 90% of these clowns.
Mr. Dax asked me if I'd have a beer with Warren. No, did you see her drink that beer? She looked so unnatural.
Oh my God, she looked like a freshman at a kegger.
Yeah, I'd probably catch a rape charge.
Yeah. Oh, my drink was roofied. No, you're a lightweight. Shut up.
Right. You passed out. I went home. It's on video. Stop it.
And that was the absolute worst racial stereotype she could have. You're drinking some fire water? Really?
What is that? I got you beat. I seen two church-going grandma types fight over a stick vacuum next to a full pallet of stick vacuums. Yeah.
Oh my God. Those vacuums are garbage, by the way.
I never realized people went to Black Friday for things like now vacuums, I understand, but like comforters. Who the fuck's like, the one thing we desperately need is a new comforter.
Well, that's not something you go first thing in the morning for. That's something you stroll in at 5 p.m. and pick up. Oh, comforters are on sale. The wife wants one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they look pretty warm, so I'll wander over there now that we're done with the real shopping.
Some of the things I saw people fight over is like, oh my God. You always see the videos of these things, and it's people going for like electronics or something.
Yeah. Or the Tickle Me Elmos and.
Yeah, we never had one of those in my store. It was always something really fucking silly, like blankets. I'm like, and we never sold out of that shit.
No, that's just the straw that broke the camel's back.
The stuff we sold out of was always electronics, because that's the stuff that they put on the front page. Like, you could come get a brand new 100-inch television for $3, and like one per store. And then there was that year they completely changed how Walmart does Black Friday, where the guy got stomped on in the entranceway.
Yeah,
that was never a problem at our store because we were a 24-hour store. But yeah, I saw the crazies once. And all it takes is one asshole to start ripping that stuff, and everybody does it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's sort of a panic effect. One person freaks out, and then it spreads. It's that herd mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I never got that. Most of the Walmarts around me actually have people line up. Like, are you here for Black Friday sales of any kind? If you are, getting this line.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd hand out the tickets. Best Buy was real good for that too. Like, do you want a TV? Okay. Do you want a TV? And they'd hand a ticket out until all those tickets were gone. And those are the people they would have employees bring those out to those people.
Yeah, Walmart started doing that after that guy got trampled.
Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. Organize things. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, the mass chaos thing, I never understood any of that. And the last few years, let's be really honest, a lot of the sales haven't been very good.
No.
It's been a bunch of like the what is it, Emerson or something, the generic Elements, the TVs.
Yep.
They've been those knockoff ones. Like, it's not Sony, it's Element and what's a Vizio and some of the other lower end ones. They're still good TVs, but
let's say, why are you insulting my second monitor here, Jack?
Because it's funny. No, I mean, I have a Vizio somewhere, an old one, but well, I think I do. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, but you know, they don't have the reputation that like Sony and Samsung do. They're
Sure.
good, but that's not something you would seek out. That's not that high dollar item. That's like, you know, a third of the original price. It's never that good of a sale anymore.
How come no one's demanded Black Friday be renamed for racism? I forget what we were supposed to call it now. Because we used to call it Blitz at Walmart, and then we had to stop doing that when that guy got trampled. We weren't allowed to call it Blitz anymore because apparently that was a what's the word?
German?
Yeah, apparently it had negative connotations.
Whatever. It is. It's a total blitz. It's just it's like a flash mob.
It is. It's exactly what it is. And then I swear they gave us something else besides Black Friday we were supposed to call it. I can't even remember. But yeah, it should just be called Chaos. The Chaos Sale.
Yeah.
Because and again, 90% of the stuff doesn't sell out. If you go in 2 hours later when it's all calmed down, you can stroll through and get whatever you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. If I'm going to go out on Black Friday, I wait till like 3 p.m. and then I just go to and get whatever I need and go home. Because everybody's gone home by then. You know, the crowds it's like a regular busy Friday night, as opposed to like, you know, an insane amount of lunatics willing to murder you over a parking spot.
Zombie says in retail isn't in the black means that the store is profitable. Yeah, and that's what Black Friday is for most stores, Black Friday is when they move into the black for the year. It's when they finally are making more money than they're losing.
Yeah. Bear's right in chat. Dumbass Friday, shop online.
Well, there's that too. Well, see, I'm not a big fan. I shop online because, well, I'm crippled, but I'm not the hugest fan of that. I'm one of those tactile buyers. I have to see it and hold it.
Yeah, I do tend to buy a lot online nowadays because I'm a borderline shut-in.
Right.
But we started this trend about 15 years ago of just exchanging gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
And then we would wait until like the beginning of January when everyone's doing inventory and everything goes on clearance. And then we'd all, you know, some of us would just go out as a small group and buy stuff. You can get more value for the dollar that way.
Indeed. No, I like the store here. We have a couple of big retail stores around here, but I still go to my Walmart because that's where I'm comfortable. After Black Friday, oftentimes they end up with way too many TVs. And so they'll slash the price even further than the Black Friday price.
Yeah.
We've gotten a couple that way over the years. But mostly what we go there for is things like clothes. Because you can get some really good deals on jeans on Black Friday. And then I always walk by the now destroyed by the time you get to it movies that they have.
Yeah, that big thing, a big cardboard thing of DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, they do games and movies, and those things just get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and like I said, the sales usually aren't that spectacular. Like, okay, you got a Blu-ray for $5. Was it worth having to elbow 8 people in the face to get? No. If I want to hang out in a mosh pit, I'll go to a concert. At least the music's better.
It depends on how much you like elbowing people in the face, Jack.
That's true. That's true. I do enjoy hitting Walmart people pretty routinely, but I'm just at the point where the thrill of that sort of thing is actually annoying to think about. Like, I don't want to deal with this crap. It's just not worth my time. And the hassle of trying to find a parking spot, then you gotta wait at the door with a bunch of idiots, and they're all like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this," and they're telling you what they're gonna go get, so you could spite them by going and getting it before them.
Indeed, yeah.
I don't know. I would rather spend Thanksgiving with the people I actually care about,
which of course is me, Jack.
Of course, and so actually stay inside and be warm.
Hey, Alex, how you doing, my friend?
You actually called me Alex.
I'm trying because I know that's what you prefer.
Ah, he's a good lad. Thank you very much. How are we?
Not bad. How are you?
Dying.
Cold. I've just had to sort out all the friggin' recycling and shit. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good, guys. What have you been up to? What's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're pretty unexciting.
Okay, I'll go then.
No, you stay here. you just brought the party with you. What are you talking about?
The very slow and very sniffly party.
Welcome to the group.
Hey, we're not Beto. Yeah, no dead naming Alex. And no, it's his pronouns. That's what it is. I'm using his wrong pronoun.
It's okay. I don't mind.
How's work been, man?
It's been interesting. Really, yeah. It's not been a couple of weeks. It's been a fucking month. It's been over a month now.
Has it? That's awesome.
Yeah, man. The last block of 4. Holy shit. Night 1 and 3. Chaos. You know, after it happened, I was sat there in the office, and I couldn't help but think of you, Monkey.
Why is that?
Because that what is it? You common white woman reform,
common sense white woman reform.
Yeah. That was the thing going around in my head, just echoing. Because the entire set of problems I had been caused by a little white woman.
They're always causing problems, man.
Yeah, and the block of 4, the night 4 before this block that I've just come off. That was a dude, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that he didn't punch me in the fucking mouth, if I'm honest. But yeah, I had to deal with that situation on my own as well. In fact, I've had to deal with 3 situations now on my fucking own. Major incidents.
That's all right, man. You'll get used to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, until it's like one of the fucking bigger lads and he fucking decides to crack me one. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I've had to deal with 3 major events on my own now. Well, I say on my own. The first time something happened, I was with an agency worker and he was fucking useless.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just kind of stood there.
Yeah, like a fucking... And he fell asleep. If I fall asleep on the job, that's my job, mate. That's gone. And you got this fucking cheeky agency cunt coming in. He's getting paid for the fucking night, you know what I mean? He's getting paid more an hour, you know what I mean? Because agency workers are often paid more.
Gentlemen,
well,
do you mind if I step away for just a moment?
Of course, mate. You crack on. You crack on. What's going on, Jack?
Oh, not much. More excited that I don't have your job.
Well, the thing is, mate, it's a stable job, and because I got super fucking stressed, mate, really fucking stressed about it. And the safeguarding officer relieved me on one of the mornings, and it's not the job that's been stressing me out. It was the lack of feedback. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if I was doing a good job or not. And I spent a good hour after finishing my shift the other morning, just talking to her, and with like running scenarios and stuff. And she was like, "No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing." So I'm doing everything correctly. She was like, "Don't worry, Alex. Everything you've done is 100% correct. And in fact, if I was in your shoes, I would have dealt with it more aggressively." And I'm like, well, the fucking support worker who I'm on with on night 1 and 2 is a female support worker, and she was giving me some hefty criticism about how I dealt with a self-harming situation. And she was like, "You shouted at her." I was like, "No, that's not shouting. That's me with my authoritative voice." She's like, "Shouting." I'm like, "It's not shouting. This is me shouting." And I said that, you know, I kind of went through the situation with the safeguarding officer. She was like, "Alex, I'd have shouted 100 times louder than you."
Yeah, sometimes you have to shout because it shows like an emotional intent. Like it shows that you care in many respects. So there's a time and a place for shouting, and
there is.
And when you're in a situation, sometimes you have to just make a decision and do something, because doing something is better than not doing anything.
I'll run the scenario with you, right, Jack? You ready for this? Okay. So imagine a couple who cohabitate in the service. They share an apartment, but what it is you walk through the door and it's like a little hallway kind of thing, and then immediately to your front is an apartment room, and immediately to your right is another apartment room with a kitchen in between. So basically, usually there would normally be, if there weren't a couple, there would be 2 people living in there but having separate rooms and having a fair amount of privacy. So I walk in, the white woman is stood there. Bear in mind, I came blasting through that door because I heard a scream, and she stood there with a kettle over her head with boiling hot water inside it, and she's already poured a little bit on her head. Now, this is a different form of self-harm. I don't think I've ever heard any particular cases of this happening. Usually it's the wrists and blades and things like that. Men tend to self-harm by punching things and things, you know. So I seen that, and my immediate thought was to smack the kettle, but I didn't do that. In that split second, I thought actually probably not a good idea to yeet the kettle across the room, as I might hit the other guy that was in there. So instead, it was hand up, put it down now. You know, it wasn't. That's not me shouting. I could be a lot fucking louder than that.
you have to use an authoritative, relatively neutral tone, and get your point across. Emphasis. No, I think you did the right thing. It sounds like you handled that right.
Yeah, I spoke to the safeguarding officer. She said, "Alex, I would have screamed at her." I was like, "Oh, that makes me feel better." So, yeah, that's been my only problem with the job so far. Well, bar a couple of other things here and there where I've kind of inadvertently put myself in some serious fucking danger.
Well, you're new. That's going to happen. You just have to learn from that and be a little more attentive to where your exits are and who's where. And, you know, that's situational awareness comes with experience.
Oh, I did I tell you that I caught a couple of guys breaking into the back because I have to do external rounds. Remember, some of my job is security. I had to do external rounds. I caught a pair of fucking shitbags trying to buy heroin from one of my residents from his window, but they went through the back. And they just bear in mind, it's dark. Back then, that was a couple of weeks ago now, it's dark as shit around there. There's no cameras. And there were 2 of them, and they were trying to get through they did get through the gate. They broke through it. And I saw them then. I was like, oh no. And I went, "Excuse me, please, gents. What are you doing?" You know. And in the end, I used a guilt card to get rid of them. I was like, "Come on, gents. Our residents have a curfew. You know, we have people living next door. You know, who, you know, have been making complaints about like noise and stuff like that. Can you just come back tomorrow instead, please?" And they were like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know that there were complaints." Like they got in my personal space. There were 2 of them, and one of them was a lot bigger than me. If they had wanted to, they could have yeeted me. Like, I don't think I would have had enough time to press my SOS button. And speaking of my SOS button, I guess it works because I may have accidentally pressed the button.
That'll happen.
It doesn't matter. It's not like a major thing, you know. It was around my neck, and I leant forward, and I was trying to look for the safeguarding officer's mobile phone, and I set it off, and it scared the shit out of me. we press the SOS button, it sets off an alarm on the fucking thing. And it goes, wah, 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 at you. And then suddenly, hello, is everything okay? And I was like, what the fuck's that coming from? Oh, yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to set it off.
Yeah, well, let's face it. What really happened was you leaned forward, saw it, and you're like, oh, look at the shiny candy-like button. And then you pressed it because you could not. And that's okay. We've all done that.
It's what happens when you put a big red button in front of my ADHD ass.
Right?
You know, it's like, oh, red. It's not red, but
I worked a security job where there was a secure room, and only certain people had access to that room. And I was a lieutenant, and my job was to go check on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there, checked up on them, got my relief to come in. Relief went in and checked on him at his shift. He got bored and decided to hang out. And they're sitting there chatting. And he's like, hey, what's this little button here for? So he starts pressing it. And there's a big sign because it's under the counter. And on the counter, there's a sign that it had some code words that indicated this is a panic button. But he never bothered to read the manual to know what the coded sign meant. Because it would say like control room 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it meant fucking cops are showing up. So the fucking SWAT team showed up.
Oh, wow.
This was a credit card distribution center. So
good grief.
It's the type of place that would get robbed.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
At least you know the button works.
Yeah. So I got a call because it was so close to shift change. It was like first hour of his shift, and they called me to come back in, and I was like, I just got home. What the fuck is going on? They're like, well, what's all that noise in the background? Oh, that's like a dozen cop cars. The SWAT team's out here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like 8 a.m. What are you idiots doing? So I had to work the rest of his shift because he was getting interrogated by the cops as to why he pressed the button.
Oh man, that must have been that's a bad start to a shift, isn't it?
Yeah, like so.
Did he get fired?
No.
Oh wow.
You know what he got fired for? He was stealing gasoline with the company credit card because they gave us a credit card to get gas for the company cars, and he was taking a 5-gallon gas can and filling it up while he got gas for the vehicles too.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Cheeky bastard.
Like that's cunning, but you don't do that 5 gallons every time. You do it with like 1 or 2. Nobody will know then. They just think you're doing longer rounds or something. Dumb fuck.
That's fucking funny. Cheeky bastard.
Our gas mileage goes to shit when you're on shift.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. Like something's weird here.
Weird.
His mileage isn't matching up with how much gas he's buying.
Oh! I saw Elvis.
Oh yeah, somebody in chat said to say something about that.
I saw Elvis.
How'd you see Elvis?
He's alive, people. The king's alive. Basically, after my first major incident, which was with the young lad, you know, and I was on my own with the fucking useless agency staff member, you know, my head was a little bit rattled and stuff like that afterwards. So I was sat there writing up the report and that. And I thought, you know what, just sit down, just calm for a second, just relax. You know, I've dealt with the situation. I did everything that because the thing is, when it kicked off, in fact, no, after it kicked off and the fucker went outside, I contacted my boss's boss's boss, who was on duty manager. Mm-hmm. And I followed her instructions to the letter. So I was like, no, I followed the instructions to the T. So, you know, I was sat there, you know, I'm a little bit wound up and stuff. So I just chill out and I look up at the camera and there's Elvis stumbling drunkly through the alleyway.
Nice.
Yeah. I just burst out laughing, kind of almost hysterically. It was the release I needed at the time. And the agency work, I had no idea why I was laughing so hard.
It means that Elvis is there for all of us, Bear.
He is. He's there when you need him the most. He's kind of like Santa, you know?
Yeah.
But how are you guys? I've missed you.
Yeah, we've missed you. I'm pretty boring.
What about you, Monkey UK?
I'm getting there.
You sound like
I've been really sick the last 2 days, man.
Yeah, well, it's that time of year, mate. as well. Doesn't help your situation. You've been streaming for over 3 hours, man.
Yeah, no. I was actually getting ready to wrap up, and then you jumped on. I didn't want to end as soon as you got here.
Oh, if you want to go, mate, then by all means.
Nah. We haven't talked in forever, man.
That is true. That is true.
How's the missus and the little ones?
They are good, mate. They are good. Vanilla Bear's getting in a few shifts here and there in between my shifts. The boys are good. I've done half of the Christmas shopping so far. Little fuckers cost me quite a bit of money.
Oh, we still got to do that. I got to go shopping for Pumpkin's birthday.
Yeah,
it's coming up in just a couple of days.
We getting a.
I don't know. See, I have a problem with buying presents for my grandchildren because every time I go to the store, it's like I got to get her something, so I get her something, and then it goes for present times. Like, well, shit, I've already bought her all of that.
Well, I don't know then.
You see my dilemma.
Yeah.
I can buy her a second one of something she has.
Well, replacement.
Actually, at her age, there's very little that they actually have for somebody her age. All the toys are for older.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem I have with my eldest. It's like, what the fuck do I get a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
You know,
14-year-old, you could get a gift card for iTunes.
You get him tissues and lotion and a Pornhub subscription.
I mean, I think he'd appreciate that.
Exactly. See,
I think I might get in trouble though if I do that.
Probably.
No, I have his list of what he wants for Christmas, and it's not very long at all. Like, you know, he obviously wants a console. He wants a couple games and some DLC packs and stuff, and some smellies, which obviously his mother added to the list and not him.
Smellies?
Yeah. You know, your shower gels and all that kind of stuff.
God.
Your aftershaves and deodorants.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, never buy Axe products for a 14-year-old. Your house will stink.
Yeah. They overuse that shit like crazy.
Oh my God. For Christmas one year, we got both of the boys. My boys are 2 years apart. So this was like 14 and 12 or something like that. They had these really nice Axe shower sets. Well, we could get that for them. And about a week later, I went upstairs and they used the upstairs bathroom. And I just happened to get close to it. And I'm like, good God, what the fuck is that? and my wife's just like, your son showered. I'm like, oh, no.
Showered in what? Axe body spray?
That smell lingers.
Yeah. What are you, a Pakistani immigrant?
Right. Oh my God. They don't know.
Bathe in that shit, guys.
They have no idea of portion size.
Yeah. You spray a little bit in front of you and then walk into it and embrace the mist.
Hi, Alfie.
Monkey says hello, Alfie. Did he? Just say hello.
You could do what my dad.
Okay, turn around to go back in there. I'm smoking.
Hi, bud.
You could do what my dad did, and as soon as a smelly person walks in the room, he'd spray him with Right Guard.
Nice.
And
I wish I had that, mate. I wish I had that. Honestly, in my fucking place where I work, oh my God, the fucking smells. You know, you think if you were taken off the street, you'd and given, you know, a room to have a bed and shower, you'd fucking use it. But no, you'd be fucking wrong, dude. You'd be fucking very wrong. The other night, so you know what spice is, right? Not the manly product, the drug. You know what it is, right? Go in there, please, now. All right. Well, sorry. What was that?
Nothing. We were waiting for you.
I was asking if you knew what spice was.
Yes, we did.
Synthetic weed.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, dangerous. It's actually kind of dangerous as well.
Very dangerous, depending on who makes it.
You know what it smells like?
No, I've never smelled it.
It smells like fish.
Ew.
Has a fishy smell to it. You couple that with the smell of heroin, which is usually either odorless or smells like vinegar.
Yeah.
Couple that with body odor, and you get some interesting smells. You get some very interesting smells.
It sounds like a Walmart.
Yeah, I guess so. And in fact, you know how there's a hoarder in my place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I don't like standing outside her door.
Oh, is it got that cat piss smell?
It's not quite cat piss. It's more dumpster fire.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a panorama of odors gently mixing in front of you.
Yeah.
And when it hits you all at once, it's very vile, but then you start to notice the nuance in the scents, and that's when you know you've been there too long.
This did just not smell like a chip shop. I can promise you that. Dangerous Spaces. Yeah, and her herself, this bad breath incarnate.
Oh, there's not much I can deal with most smells because you can get away from them, but halitosis, man.
Yeah, and one morning, like I had her in the office and stuff, and my relief was talking to her, and it took about 10 minutes. It just slowly filled the air, and I can't deal with bad smells. Like if I can smell it, it means I can also taste it.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
The thing is, it has to be extremely pungent because my sense of smell isn't great. Like the female support worker I'm usually work with, she's like, "How can you not smell that, Alex?" I can't smell anything. But if it stays there and it starts to build up, and I can taste it, and I start kind of internally panicking, and my body can't help but pace more, and I'm trying to grab pockets of air that don't stink. I'm like leaning my head out the hatch of the door, like,
Yeah.
On the upside, you'll be great for scuba diving.
I can hold my breath for about 10 minutes now.
Stan says rotten milk is the worst smell. No. Rotting potatoes is the worst smell ever. That is so nasty. It gags me. You're killing me, Alex. Yeah.
How do you think I fucking feel, Eagle? Right?
Have you been using the Vicks like you're supposed to?
It hasn't gotten to that point again since. I mean, there have been some bad smells, but they haven't gotten to the point where it's so bad that I have to break it out.
Gotcha.
Like it hasn't gotten to the point where it's become inescapable.
I feel like even partially inescapable is bad enough for that.
Yeah, but if I can get away from it, I fucking get away from it, dude. I go, right, I'm gonna go do some external rounds, and I'm gonna go outside.
Oh, you know what, Ryan? You're right. Decomposing flesh is actually probably the worst smell I've ever smelled.
Yeah, that's
horrible.
Dangerous Spaces wants to know how far does the smell travel. Well, the thing is that it's the building looks kind of big from the outside, but inside it is not. With hallways and that type of thing. And the hoarder lives in a separate building, kind of, because we have like a separate building it's only like, I don't know, 50 feet away. We're still a part of the same complex and everything. You go in there and then you can smell it, and I'm like, in quick, have a quick listen, okay, and then go upstairs, have a quick listen, okay, everyone's good, back to the office. And speaking of which, there's a guy actually who's, I don't know what's up with him, but he talks to himself at night, and he argues. He has full-blown arguments with himself, and it's scary because it sounds like two different people. And the conversations that he's been having are actually genuinely concerning. Like, it's fucking frightening. I'm stood there listening, and he's going, "Of course we're going to fucking save our money. No, we're gonna take the money and we're gonna buy all the drugs with it, you fucking nigger." Like, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? I'm like stood there like, okay then, I'm going back to the fucking office. What? Yeah, I've been raising concerns to my bosses about that because he's been acting stranger and stranger as of recently. If it's in his flat, I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like he's having a conversation with himself. He's not trying to harm himself. You know.
Well, he's trying to harm one of his personalities. Does that
Well,
count?
yeah, yeah. He's like threatening to stab people and shit, and I'm like, oh no, I hope it ain't me. But yeah,
he's really been talking to you the whole time.
Well, yeah. But no, he when he comes out of the apartment, that it doesn't show at all. Like it's weird, man. Like he comes out and he goes about doing his business in the early evening and late evening, and goes out early in the morning and stuff. And this is completely normal. But when he's behind that door, he's a whole different fucking kettle of fish.
Wow.
He's not writing rap lyrics, I can assure you of that. It's kind of scary. Kind of scary.
I'm sorry. I'm reading a stupid ass article from this woman who's decided she's got to give up her Amazon coat.
I beg your pardon.
I didn't even know what an Amazon coat was, but here it is. I'll put it on the screen for everyone.
I believe he's early 30s, Eagle.
This is an Amazon coat, apparently.
Okay.
Now,
well, like a coat from Amazon.com, or
apparently
it doesn't. Is it missing bits off of it?
No, it's just got a weird ass white woman in it.
Hey, my name's Karen.
Yeah, she's drooled once or twice down that chin.
Where did a spastic chin, mate?
I'm gonna give you each a guess. Why do you think she's giving up her jacket?
Because it doesn't cover all of her body. I mean, it looks like it's got like bits missing on the side there.
Wrong. Jack?
I'm gonna go with because of the color.
Wrong.
It's something to do with environmental racism.
Oh no.
She loves the coat. It keeps her warm. It does everything a coat should do. She loves it. But she went to a Pilates class and
she started farting.
3 of the other women there had the same coat.
Oh, of course. Jack's over there trying to put it down to some level of social justice. Meanwhile, it's typical white women shit.
Hashtag. Look, she actually tells us that this coat will keep you warm in 25-degree weather without making you sweat when it's 45 degrees out. That's a nice coat if you can pull off one that, pulls that shit. But no, too many other women have it, so it's time to get rid of it.
What the fuck is wrong with people? It's
more
okay
time.
to blend in.
Common sense. White women reform.
Oh, monkey.
I hope she freezes her ass off with the next coat she gets. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was me interrupting you, mate. I'm sorry. Did you at all see me tweeting about a YouTuber by the name of Shani for Christ at all in the last couple of days? Or has their name come across your desk at all?
Not just based on the name. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay, I'm going to send you a link. And I want you to tell me your opinion of this lady. Okay. And I'm just going to try to find a good example where it's not too long, so you don't have to bounce away from the stream for too long. Because when she goes for a while, but there are some shorter examples I could perhaps give you if I could just fucking.
Exactly, Dangerous. How privileged do you have to be when you can afford to get rid of stuff because it's not unique? I know, right? How fucking you cunt. I hate people, man.
Okay, I'm just going to give you her channel. It'd be best if I'm gonna chuck it in the side there in the StreamYard. And you tell me what you think of this lady.
Oh my. Oh dear my. I'm just going on picture right now, but oh dear God.
Yeah. See, I didn't intend to make I'll be pushed into a position where my subscribers wanted me to make another video on Foodie Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
But Foodie Beauty, you know who she is, don't you, Monkey?
Yeah, you did a video about her, didn't you?
Yeah, she's one of the crazy mukbang YouTubers that
Yeah.
also presents herself as a weight loss channel. I mean, it's a contradiction in and of itself. Well, you know, she's got into a spot of drama. She released this video. It was like a Halloween cheese board wine mukbang type thing, and in the video, she spoke about Heaven's Gate, the cult, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Because they're from where you're from, aren't they? San Diego.
Yeah, that's where I was born. Yeah.
Yeah. She talks about them, and she got quite a bit of information wrong. She also showed some of the news clips and stuff, like where they showed the bodies and stuff like that, and she's just casually eating blocks of cheese while she does it. And a lot of people took issue with that, and so a couple of people made response videos, as they normally do. And that Shani for Christ lady appeared out of nowhere to White Knight for Chantel, aka Foodie Beauty. And the way that she proceeded to White Knight was a flurry of videos recorded on her phone where she was losing her goddamn mind. And she wasn't just losing her goddamn mind. She was dropping the N-bomb left, right, and Chelsea in the process.
Nice.
Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. But she's fucking nuts. Like, she looks like she hasn't slept in about a week. And the thing is, this was all going on whilst I was at work, right? And I think I was on like my third shift, and I got to the early hours of the morning, and I look at my phone, I look at YouTube, and she'd uploaded like, I don't know, 12 videos in the last 12 hours or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's fucking nuts. And the thing is, I'm making like another video kind of like addressing the whole situation. Now I've covered the majority of the information, but I've got to cover her as well. And I'm finding it really difficult how I should approach that segment, because she's disclosed in one of her videos. Now, obviously, I don't know whether it's true. I'm not a therapist, guys. I can't diagnose somebody with a mental health disorder, but she says that she has borderline personality disorder. Now, that's no excuse to act like a cunt, and that's no excuse to be a fucking racist. At the end of the day, people with BPD, they can get the help. They absolutely can get to a point where they can learn to function normally every fucking day.
Well,
but I'm finding it hard how I should kind of approach her.
I'd say as you do anyone else. And this is a problem I have online right now. I don't trust anybody when they tell me they're psychological disorders.
No, I'm inclined to agree with you. When she says she has BPD, I don't believe her, but that's my opinion. But at the same time, I can't give a diagnosis or anything like that. And there is something fucking wrong with her. Like, there's no doubt there is something going on there. I'm not sure it's BPD, but her and her fella, they are quite possibly the dumbest motherfuckers you have ever seen. In fact, she tried to call on the anti-SJW community, or whatever's left of it, to come and defend her. Although she didn't refer to it as that, she referred to it as the debate community, which I found hilarious.
Defend her from what?
Basically, she's being fucking dogpiled to no end right now, and well, that's what happens when you.
How's that my problem?
Well, I'm not saying it's your problem.
No, I know, but she's suggesting.
Oh yeah, she thinks it is, yeah, because she thinks that white people are oppressed to no end. And that she's a massive victim because, you know, she's had like one or two bad experiences with a black person in her life, so that means all black people are terrible. And she's been using a lot of alt-right rhetoric, a lot of it, and I don't think she even realizes what she's saying. And the other day I tried to have fucking discourse with her. I tried so fucking hard, I really did, you know, and I'm like, you're making all of these arguments, but you're making gross generalizations. You're doing exactly the same bullshit the alt-right fucking does, you know, and you're sitting there, you're like, she's like, oh, I call everyone niggers. I'm like, that doesn't mean you can do that in real life. You do that in real life, someone's going to punch you in the fucking mouth.
Who knew that the alt-right had so far ingrained themselves in the mukbang community?
Well, she herself isn't a mukbanger. interestingly enough. What's interesting is that she was just uploading these kind of rubbish gaming videos, and then all of a sudden goes mad with all these weird vlog style things. Her fella runs this kind of like Christian channel, and it's all white people are being destroyed.
Oh,
for fuck's sake!
And what made me laugh, just before you say that, Jack, because I'll forget otherwise. What made me laugh is I was sat there listening to her, and she was trying to approach the situation how you kind of cookie cutter conservative would initially. Initially, she started like that, and she was trying to make all these arguments, and I'm like, "You're getting so much wrong. This isn't even funny." And this is what gets me is I'm making this video, and I'm like, I've gained a fair few new subscribers from I guess the anti-mukbang community over the last couple of weeks, and they've been making their response videos and stuff, and not one of them has addressed the situation correctly, in my opinion, anyway. And I'm like, you are about to argue against me. I am quite possibly the worst person in this community that you could go up against because I come from the political genre. I mean, Mikey is obviously over there now doing a lot of mukbang reaction videos and stuff these days. I'm not, I guess, within that community because I'm still, you know, making a mixture of content. I'm trying not to box myself in by just focusing on obviously people like Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Booty and that. But yeah, I'm the worst person she could go up against because I can wreck all of her arguments and just point out how fucking wrong she is. and I don't know how to approach it, honestly.
I have a suggestion.
Unleash Lord Bear upon her.
Well, obviously.
Well, that was my first go-to thing, Jack. I was like, you know what, right? I don't know what to do here. Get Lord Bear.
Yeah. Circus Zero had a good point. He said she went all Joy Sparkles. And I would probably agree with that from what you're telling me. But you could have Lord Bear cow tipping. And then he gets wind of this. That's how I would open the video. But I'm an asshole, so I don't think there's any polite way you could do this without, you know, just diving right in. So you might as well just go full bore on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, Monkey, I know you're saying, you know, just approach it how you would anybody else, but I tend not to do that, as you know. I tend to approach people, giving them the benefit of the doubt, and not being too harsh.
You're too damn nice, damn Brits.
Yeah, but I will be harsh to people when they deserve it, as you know. I mean, that's whole. That's
deserve it. She's an ignorant.
Oh,
shit.
I agree. She does. Her boyfriend in particular really deserves it. I don't want to go full anti kind of alt-right on this. Like she's made a lot of points and arguments and stuff. Like there's a lot going on there. You know, it's far too much for a single video. So some people on Twitter yesterday were like, you know, see, this is the problem with people, you know, reacting to her and stuff like that. Yeah, because she gained 200 subscribers over the weekend, you see. So see, look, if you shine a light on her, you're just giving her attention. Ignore her. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, you can't ignore somebody like this. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. Sunlight
is the best disinfectant. You need to go in. You can't just go in there like everyone's calling her a racist, which she is. She is a racist. Like, and you know me, I don't call somebody a racist without proper fucking reason to do so, right? You know, I'm not an SJW at the end of the day. But the thing is, that's not enough. You can't just sit there and give a couple of examples where she's dropping the N-bomb and go, look, she's a racist. You have to go in and decimate every fucking thing that she says.
Well, okay, here's how I would do this. And this is just obviously off the top of my head suggestion. Lord Bear's tipping some cows, and he gets wind of this conversation. And I just like the idea of a floating bear head knocking over cows and like singing a little song of amusement. And you start kind of listening to some of what she says. And Lord Bear is going to have to realize that as a bear of color, because he is like a brown bear, that he doesn't have the appropriate voice to deal with this. So he needs some of his happy fun time powder all over his face, which is just going to be like the mouth area. And then he'll be sufficiently white enough and high enough to address the concerns, and then he will be taken seriously.
What's his voice change to, or is it his interpretation of the voice?
I think it would just be the interpretation of the voice. You don't have to get carried away with it. Don't overthink it. I'm just thinking what I would find funny. Because I like the idea that he would actually just do a bunch of blow so that he has white face on.
The idea of that does tickle me somewhat. It does tickle me somewhat.
It's the cow tipping. That's the best part.
That also makes me laugh, but I wonder if I'd be going too far, because that would kind of suggest I'm calling her a cokehead. I mean, everyone's been calling her a fucking meth head. Don't get me wrong, I'm not adverse to calling people names. That's kind of Lord Bear's stick in the first place.
Lord Bear would probably just, you could focus it on him and say, well, I've got to get in a frame of mind where I could deal with somebody this dumb. So
that's not a bad idea.
Hence a little bit of fun powder.
All right, guys, I'm sorry. I got to wrap this up.
That's cool. That's cool. Jack, would you like to stream with me?
I'm
sure.
I haven't streamed in a while, and I just figured that I'd just do like half an hour.
Sure.
Cool beans. Monkey, thank you for having me on. I miss you.
Oh, thanks for coming by, man. I miss you too. I saw you in chat the other day. I'm like, oh, Barry. Oh, he's got to go to sleep. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. It sucks, dude. And I've got to balance my time, you know.
No, I get it. I get it, man.
Yeah, but I miss you a lot. I miss streaming with you and doing these morning streams and stuff.
I miss you too. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I miss my bear. And I know, Alex, fuck off.
Well, just call me Bear. It's okay.
It's my bear.
You can.
There you go. I got bear privilege. All right, guys, I seriously got to go get laid down. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us for the last almost 4 goddamn hours. Wow.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean for you to.
No. I've had fun, man. If I needed to, I'd have stopped sooner. But thank you so much for the donations and for hanging out with us and listening to all the random crap we get onto. You guys are amazing, and I love you. Bear, is there anything you want to pimp out, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna just do like a half an hour little stream. I'm trying to schedule it now whilst I've got you, so people can go over. Jack, would you like to join me?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Monkey. And also, guys, I'm really fucking trying to get this video done by tonight and out to the channel members by late this afternoon, and then I'm probably going to premiere the video tonight. It's another direct response video to Foodie Booty, and it's going to be obviously not just to her, but also to Shani for Christ and her fucking dickhead of a boyfriend. It is going to be a longer one, and it's also going to have a diss track in it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Alrighty, and then Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll just throw a link to my newest video. Monkey, don't you have a Patreon and a Teespring?
I do indeed. They're both linked below. Don't forget, guys, if you want the Monka Lantern shirt, it's only available for another couple of days, and then it goes away for another year. So if you like that one, make sure you pick it up now. Tonight, we're going to be on Scribe Light's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Lords of the Night. We may or may not do a game stream. It's going to depend on how I feel tonight. So watch the show and pay attention to Twitter to know. Chat, thank you guys for joining us. Jack, Bear, a pleasure as always, my friends. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Love you.
Bye.